Ali, 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 Ali. Yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islam, 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 Moorish America. Want to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to His holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us call forth our beloved brother Marvin, Dr. Marvin Nathaniel Elvis Bay, so that he may open up the way as you open up your hearts and minds. So, Islam.
Islam, family. Yes, I'm Dr. Marvin Elvis Bay out of Texas, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, highest honors to His prophet, and honor to everything that is Moorish. And I will be opening our meeting according to law. And I will begin with our connecting Moorish American prayer. Ya Allah emnuheru meku neteru. Ya Allah ebheteru. Ya Allah ma'adheru. Ya Allah hoteperu. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'adherkuti. Ya Allah awajet tejuti. Ya Allah patem sutek. Patem heru. Ya Allah pamaduti. El hedges re abtuali. Amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. In transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe, O Allah, the Father of love, O Allah, the Spirit of truth, O Allah, the Spirit of peace, O Allah, the Spirit of justice, O Allah, the Spirit of pardon, O Allah, the Spirit of freedom, O Allah, the Spirit of justice, O Allah, you are my protector, O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet. O Allah, through Ali. Amen. Holy Issa, Holy Issa, Holy Issa. And now I will read our divine constitution of Moorish America. Salvation, our God, unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are in power to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known for the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh, and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and a parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and mind pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. And now this meeting has been opened according to Act 2. And the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And now we'll hand the meeting over to our National Assistant, Grand Secretary of the State, Dr. Dendra Ani Okurta-Bey. Islam?
Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Dr. Dendra Ani Okurta-Bey. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act 1. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to our National Assistant Grand Sheik for hosting this class this morning. I give honors to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bey, and for opening us up according to law. And at this time, I will be reading our chapter of the week, chapter 68. The beginning of Christianity. Every prophet leaves a holy book of guidance for his nationals. Drew Ali's 2 of 4. The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nation founded the first church, of whom crucified Yehoshua of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. Yehoshua himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanite and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nation of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad the first came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Yehoshua of Nazareth. The holy teachings of Yehoshua was to the common people to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also, that the lion and the lamb may lay down together, and neither would be harmed when morning came. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. Through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich lived, while the poor suffered and died. The lamb is the poor people, the lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Islam, Islam, Islam. I will now turn everything back over to our host, our National Assistant Grand Sheik, Dr. Sadu Amiti El Mahedja Sepsuel. Are you there, God man?
Islamism is close as a love thought. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. But we want to rise upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, cyclically, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session. E.A.R.S, all ears, and I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Al-Mohadi Shabazz El. My ancient Comedian high name being the same as Dr. Shedu Minti El Muhajjid Shepsuel. You know, and most definitely we have a powerful demonstration to bring forth to our Moorish kin this morning. You know, you're going to learn something today. You know, as our Grand Sheik would say, I'm going to learn you something. We got a grand drawing to bring on the Manifest family. So we ask that our people have their paper and their pens on hand or whatever it is that you do. But most definitely pay attention to what it is that we have to bring forth, because we have some grand drawings to bring to the Manifest. But prior to demonstrating this, we always like to come forth with laying a foundation to our special class and lesson. And in laying that foundation, we are able to bring our people into a clear conception. You know, this is special drawing. So we got a lot of ground to cover, but also, you know, like I said, it would be most fulfilling. The Scribes is definitely on the Manifest to get the job done. You know, we here to do the work. You know, so we encourage our family to most definitely pay attention to what it is that we are demonstrating, and all is well. So this is going to be a powerful measure here, and we following up, you know, lesson by lesson, so to speak, based upon, you know, the foundation that we laid in the last demonstration. And that's how it's going to be pretty much from here out when it comes to dealing with what we consider clarity. You know, so what I want to do, I want to call upon our beloved Scribes, you know, as we normally do, to get volunteers to read
Islam.
from our Exhuming of a Nation, Islam, Brother Bati Bey. All
Islam.
that ready. That's what I'm talking about. Our brother say he ain't scared. Islam. So we're
Islam.
gonna actually start, my brother, with page 401.
Oh,
And that's the religious miseducation of the Moorish.
okay.
We'll have you go over to, let me make sure, because I want to make sure I equally distribute this drawing. Yeah, we'll have you go up to, let's see here. Okay, that one there. Okay, that one there. Okay. Okay, so we'll have you go up to, my brother, right above religion and nationality, or the other 2/5 of a person.
Islam.
That's page 403. We'll have you go up above that. Islam. Islam, Grand Secretary of the State. We'll have you start at 403 right there, religion and nationality. And you can go over to right above. Let me make sure I got this right. I want to make sure I get this on point here. Yeah, you're gonna go right above the Constitution of Ma'at.
All right. Yes, sir. Page
Oh.
406.
Yes, ma'am. And then we can Islam. And we can have our next scribe and volunteer.
Islam.
Okay.
Oh, that's Dendra. She.
Go ahead, brother. You get
Yeah, okay.
Islam. So okay, well we deal with the Constitution of Ma'at, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, and you can stop above. Is there a cross for you on page 408? Islam.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to get my papers together. Okay. From page. What's the page number?
406.
406.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
408.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you going above, is there a cross for you on 408? Islam?
Okay.
All right, brother.
Better too.
You may proceed. Islam, scribes.
Islam. First, I'd like to rise and give all manner of praise to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government and royal council. Our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, us with angels, T, citizens alike, honors to all the Moors that are here in attendance and the sound of my voice. And honors to you as well. And I will begin. The religious miseducation of the Moors. Virtually everything the Moorish of the West think perhaps they know about religion has been systematically beat into them during their enslavement. First and foremost, in the history of civilization, it is impossible to educate slaves, commercial properties, and or chattels. Well trained, yes, but educated, never. This holds true in the midst of universities, specialized social/government agencies, and religious entities. The majority of the Moorish people colonized in the West know very little about religion, and although they sincerely love the Lord, they know even less about the gods they have been taught to serve. Couple this with the fact that they receive no education which leads to knowledge of true self or the great God of their forefathers, and the result will be a primary candidate for undercover polytheism. Drew Ali explains taking away of the nationality of the Moors in 1774 and given the word Negro, black, and colored was because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. It is well proven fact As long as the Negro attends my schools and serve me as the Lord and Savior by attending my churches, I will always own them. Willie Lynch. This translates into Maya at its best. That which is unreal seems real, and the real appears unreal. To the NBC, their God appears real, yet is unreal. The God they have been trained to serve did not make man, but was made by mankind in their likeness and image. This script was written for the unconscious actors to portray long before the curtains to the stage of civilization were drawn. The things my people do not know about God, religion, and themselves would exceed the makings of a new heaven and new earth. In Hosea, 4th chapter, the charge against Israel revealed, my people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you as my priest. Because you have ignored the law of your God, I also will ignore your children. Nevertheless, after 135 plus years of abolished slavery, the descendants of the ex-slaves still dance to the beat of religion of which they know next to nothing. Because the Moorish people have been so legally enthralled and miseducated, they crave acceptance by virtually any semblance of freedom and truth. To, to say they are deprived of self worth, which can be found only in one's true identity, would be an understatement. Subsequently, the descendants of slaves are primed prey for proselytization of organized religions and social structures. Unfortunately, the majority of these civic traps are either made or controlled by state jurisdiction of their oppressors. The manumitters of the Moorish people have clearly proclaimed themselves as God when they named themselves the white man. Fortunately, in the same breath, he also revealed he is the Antichrist and foe to the great God, Allah. He is not the God of the ancient Moorish forefathers. Nonetheless, the real problem is the miseducation of the Moorish people, which Noble Drew Ali calls mental slavery. The worst aspect of mental slavery is commonly called the Stockholm Syndrome. This is when the very minds of the captured, due to lengthy and systematic iron hand oppression, assume the mentality of their oppressors. The Stockholm Syndrome is most prevalent in the Nazi concentration camps, where many Jews became better Nazis than the Gestapo. In modern prisons, many inmates known as snitchers are, are better informants than the paid correctional officer. Like so, due to denationalized slavery, the oppressed and miseducated millions of Moorish peoples are better Christians than Europeans, better Masons than the Scottish and Yorkites, better Americans than the U.S. courts and states that own them. See 14th Amendment. And better believers in who the West say they are than in knowing or being their true selves. Noble Drew Ali states, some of my best Moors are still in, excuse me, some of my best Moors are in the church. This is true. But, however, but how did this come to be? Would they be there if they had their own old time religion, Islamism, from which to compare and choose? Surely not. On the other hand, constant miseducation merely assures the fact slaves are those without choices. The horrible truth is, no property is capable of education because, at best, it would only enhance its wealth and prosperity. The ancient Egyptian mystery system was not only developed from the first religious creed, the ancient Moorish also used it during their civilizing of the world. The hierarchies of Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, Catholicism, etc., still use it to this day. However, it has always been forbidden to its rightful Moorish inheritors. Again, this topic is not to be offensive just exhuming a clean and pure nation. If an angel does not bring the truth, who will? Speaking of angels, no little fat no little fat winged back European baby baby has ever been a true angel, except in the sense that his daddy called himself white God. Drew Ali corrected this miseducation when he taught the Moorish Americans. What is an angel? Answer. An angel is a thought of Allah manifested in the flesh. Question. What are angels used for? Answer. To carry messages to the four corners of the earth to all nations. Question. What is the shade of their skin? Answer. Olive. Susceptibility to sun, melanin. Question. Are the Moorish Americans any relation to those angels? Yes, we all have the same father and mother. A quick glance at the GNP, gross national product of the ancient Egypt, and it will rock the world with its production of the world's holy scholars. When one investigates, they will find African Egypt has produced the world's most renowned celestial beings to ever be manifested in human form. This is the home for graduate degrees recognized worldwide as prophets, gods, goddesses, queens, angels, messiahs, Christ, and other archangels, e.g., Gabriel and Michael, etc. Ask any Hebrew Muslim guru, Mahatma, adept, master, or well-learned Catholic or Shriner under an intelligent tone, and they will give you a favorable reply. All of these biblical characters received their degrees of ministry from a sacred school, temples, and silent orders of Egypt. This includes Moses, Abraham, Yehoshua, Muhammad, etc. Due to Eurocentric philosophy and its diverted rays of this established African creed, the Moorish people taught here in the West believe these images of Allah to be in unattainable realms beyond themselves, or at the very least, white Europeans. Of course, they can never be the latter either. This miseducation gives the Moorish esteem a beatdown so severe they will do anything, including give their souls to the feigned likeness of the Lord and Savior, Yehoshua Christ, Father in heaven. Namely, the same self-titled God lying out the side of his mouth, lying out the side of his neck, white man. The ex-slaves have been undermined so low, they do not equate themselves as being related to angels, kin to Yehoshua, or perfect and a part of the great God Allah. Though religious miseducation, they have been, through religious miseducation, they have been taught divinity. Infinite spirits and holiness are separated beyond them. In actuality, they themselves are omnipotent, and perfection lies dormant in each of them. Just the same, one of the side effects of mental slavery is self-denial. Due to scores and millenniums of forced acceptance of pale skin rule, the fallen Moors think it normal to imitate the status quo by denying their own. They instantaneously activate immunities to the truth about themselves unless it's sanctioned by the obvious tyranny. Their national self-worth has been beat down so low until it has to look up at the dependency of a beggar people. No beggar people can ever produce the best in themselves. This book, as declared by Noble Drew Ali, contains everything necessary to save a nation. One needs only to eat it, and they will be able to save themselves. However, before the majority of readers seek verification amongst their learned brothers in Africa and the East, they will run right to Rome for his discretionary approval. No problem. The prophet also said, they, the Europeans, will be glad to see me bring you out of darkness into the marvelous light and back into the constitutional fold of government. The Europeans and foreign supporters are helping me, but it is your problem. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can, and that is through the connection of the Moorish National Divine Movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by the U.S. nation as an American citizen. This is what was meant when it said, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added unto you." This illusionary new world established by nations of Europe is tired and dying. It is riddled with wars, disease, and reprisals, conditions of the earth, fear and death. It is pieced together daily with a cut and paste bubbles of promises which burst in the flame of time. In the flight of time. They are ready to give it back to the original owners, but the Moorish must unteach themselves and then arm themselves with truth. Islam, Islam, Islam. And now I will turn this meeting over to the Grand Secretary of State. Islam.
Islam, gratitude, Islam Moorishkin. First of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Dura Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our E.A.R.S class, to our Consul General of Texas for opening our meeting according to law, to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State for reading our chapter, to Act 1, and also to our host instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedowa Menti, Al-Mohedid Shepsuel. Religion and nationality, or the other 2/5 of a person. Yehoshua said, a man's ideal is his God, and so, as man unfolds, his God unfolds. His religion basically includes the method in which he serves, worships, or gives praises to his God. All religious creeds are founded through or by the prophets or fathers of their special nation. Example given, Buddha to India, Confucius to China, and Muhammad to Arabia, or Greek, Romans to Christianity. Since the ancient Moorish founded the first religious creed in Eastern Africa, nations have established a religion according to the precepts of their past, present, and future state. Some are also based into the hereafter. Can the Moorish be Christians? No, because it is against the uniting of their natural and divine duty to be obedient to the one true God. The basic postulate of being a Christian is the polytheistic homage to a trinity of gods. Example given, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. There is an addition of 2 more gods in Catholicism, the Holy Mary, Mother of God, and the Pope. There is nothing wrong with this religious creed. They are made ideal by their founding fathers for the people of Europe, but not for the Africans of Moorish descent. This is why the self of the Moors has not been free or sustains happiness under the nearly 2,000-year rule of Christians. Those still under the black concept that may profess Christianity, they do so out of the ignorance that derived from oppression. It must be remembered all Negro, Black, and colored by design have been programmed for failure. Ask any Hebrew, Muslim, or Jew, and they should honestly reply, no nation in history has ever been successfully freed from slavery while serving the god or gods of their former slave masters. For the Moorish to be themselves free, they must return the cross, Christianity, and the church back to the European nations. It does not require a mastermind to decipher the same God-fearing, cross-bearing Christians which killed 93% of the tribal red-skinned natives and legally classified olive-skinned Africans as 3/5 of a person in the U.S. Constitution, 1779, and legally reclassified them as persons, equivalent to commercial property in the 1868 14th Amendment, and entering into the year 2000, after 135 years of being held hostage as a Moorish nation and being force-fed Christianity with their pale skin, biblical characters, etc., 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 are the same Europeans which made quote-unquote black Christians today. In fact, most so-called blacks never question why it is easier to begin a church or open a spirit store than it is to buy a home, and why those who hail themselves as God-fearing are favored by the good old boys. The European status quo looks at Black Christians as being will broken and domesticated. These are modern terms for civilizing the savages or Christianize the heathens. They actually believe they must make blacks bear the same cross as their brother Yehoshua. This is why they sing, "Must Yehoshua bear the cross alone and all the world go free? There's a cross for everyone, and there is a cross for me." Reverse psychology and minute retention must be historical requirements to be a NBC Christian. Because the last time I checked, crucifixions were to the Roman government yesteryear as the electric chair or lethal injections are in the United States today. Does this mean 2,000 years from now there will be an electric chair for everyone and a lethal injection for me? According to the Europeans' version of Yehoshua, he died on the cross so that he could join this heavenly Father he often spoke of. To this day, Christianized Africans cling to the old rugged cross to receive their heaven in the sky after they die. 2,000 years of the same Netherland, as someone asked, can the Moorish be Christians? Hell yes. No. Divine origin of the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments, as translated in the Bible, are not the true tablets of laws bestowed upon Moses out of Egypt, ancient Kemet. The biblical Ten Commandments appear two places in the Old Testament, Exodus 20, 1 through 17, and Deuteronomy 5, 6 through 21. The two are similar but not identical, pending whether in the Protestant, Anglican, and Orthodox Christian who follow Jewish tradition or Roman Catholic and Lutheran traditions used by St. Augustine, which combines 1 and 11 and splits the last commandment into two. The latter changes the numbering of the other commandments by 1. However, it is the basic principle of the Ten Commandments that comes as a prophetic warning by Noble Drew Ali. In his chapter 46, The Beginning of Christianity, the Moorish American prophet wrote, "These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. Through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich live, while the poor suffer and die." In order to understand the original constitution of the commandments, one must study the holistic teaching of the ancient Moorish. Since the Garden of Eden, all initiates, students, were taught their minds were a part of the divine mind, that I was a state of responsible perfection and constant mastery. This is why Moses was not told the name of the great God, but only to reply, "I am that I am," meaning I am you, or Emmanuel, God in man, to identify himself as the Christ so Pharaoh would understand. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, among the many inheritances, returned the true commandments to the Moorish peoples from Egypt's sacred Adept Brotherhood. He was the first in America to teach from an ancient Egyptian constitution known as Tablet of Resurrection into the light. The European West, especially the Wallace Budge's translation, called this the Egyptian Book of the Dead, a typical misnomer and customary pale skinning of African history. Fortunately, more contemporary scholars refer to it as the Book of Coming Forth by Day. This later transliteration is more Afrocentric and relevant than the Romans' Book of the Black, oops, Book of the Death, oops, oops, Book of the Dead. These oops highlights the meaning of the word black, which according to science means death. See question number 87. And the common fact that just because the truth-starved African American scholars' colloquialisms, connotations, and misuses of European words does not alter their true meaning. For example, the word black means death or negative for all of history until the 1960s Black Power movement in America. Since then, they have given it the reverse connotation of life and positive. Still, everywhere else in all nations, in all lands, black is just a word, which means death. Yet, the most brilliant of the miseducated black intellects apply this word to themselves and children without serious inquiry. But only in America, the only place on earth where black people have been lawfully made and produced for 4 centuries. Anyway, back to the Ten Commandments. Most modern biblical scholars avoid trying to explain why virtually all the laws of the great God were given to olive-skinned peoples, mostly in Africa. Originating in the higher elevations of East Africa, from the Upper Nile to Sheba, parentheses Ethiopia, or from the mountains of the Holy Lands to Africa's Kushite peninsula called Arabia, separated by the European artificial waterway, the Suez Canal, dredged in 1869 but nationalized by Egypt in 1956. All of the prophets which transmitted the words of God were African or Asian nationals, from Adam to Muhammad, with nearly 2,500 in between, including Moses, Abraham, David, Solomon, and Yehoshua. See the Garden of Eden. As for Moses, one must remember he was Hebrew born, but raised as an Egyptian adept master, not as an ordinary Egyptian, but in the highest Kemethian nobility of the pharaohs. Naturally, Moses received all the instructions of the adept Egyptian mystery system because he was being groomed to become a pharaoh. Drew Ali enlightened the Moorish Americans to the principles of the Ten Commandments, the foundation of thou being the principal addressee instead of I. The old-time religion taught I, self, Lord, and master. Islam. Islam equals peace. The Egyptian constitution of Maat governed with the word I to include the first person of me, mine, my, we, and ours. The Greeks, Romans, and king of the James boys translated the Maat, I, to thou, to feature the second personages of thee, thine, thy, ye, and you. Through these revised versions to the principle, Roman, parentheses European rich lived, while the poor suffered and died, to receive their rewards in the sweet by and by. Moses, Abraham, and Sharif Abdul Ali were all Egyptian adept masters. They were born unto the various African tribes, but their degrees of prophethood were all founded upon the ancient Egyptian mystery system of self-mastery, the deification of God and man, here and in the hereafter. When Moses introduced the tablets of laws to the nations of Israel, they were pure and did not contain any other God before the one found within. Quran, Surah 7, Ayat 145. In Palestine, where Greek had been made the national language, it was the pale-skinned people who titled themselves God, meaning ruler of the land. Question number 93. And other people were thou. Contrary to Western beliefs, the great God did not write the Bible. It is translations by European Greeks, Romans, and Englishmen from pillaging the tablets of African prophets. Nowhere is it written where King James or his kinfolk, parentheses Frank and Jesse, went to Allah and got the words ordaining them to write the Bible. All true and divine prophets, whoever left the book, say where and when they received the words from their God, because most of all the sacred writings were handed out in stages from the ancient mystery system of Egypt, albeit the Bible was never ordained to be. Where is its prophet? Its God. And where did it acquire the word holy? And since truth is immutable and will make men free, why has the Holy Bible as the Word of God been changed over 315 times with over 2,000 versions? In 1700s, the York and Scottish Rite Orders of Freemasonry established this principle of the Ten Commandments as an absolute requirement for an initiation into its secret society. Freemasonry built upon the murder of Hiram Abiff, parentheses, ancient African wisdom. was designed strictly for quote unquote free white men by free white men. With the commandments firmly in place, members could assume the attributes of God, and all others were outside in their profane world. Basically, every Mason must recognize the lodge and fellow members as purity by swearing, "So help me God," upon demand. Needful to say, these principles of the Ten Commandments were later brought to North America and written into the Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution by the same Masons and upheld by the Pope. These are the biblical and lawful reasons why the Moorish will never be free as a pure and clean nation while under the Roman yoke and law. It was designed for Europeans to rule while the Moorish suffer and die, trying to be other than themselves, but not knowing how or why. The Egyptian commandments before Moses. The ADEPT Egyptian mystery system not only included all the sciences of geometry, medicine, astrology, etc., but also laced with the character-building lessons of perfection. These lessons were of self-mastery and focused on developing the God powers which are dormant in every human. Among these sacred laws were the 42 declarations of Maat of the Commethian Constitution. These became the principal laws of purification for the initiate to reach deific life. The foundation of these was to honor the father and the mother, that your days would be longer upon the earthland which the great God has given to you. The 42 declarations of Maat listed in this chapter can easily be identified with the 10 commandments through Moses, except they were written nearly 2,000 years before he was born. Also exceptional is the Greek, Roman, and English translations from the first personage of I and self and replaced with thou and thee. There is a world of difference between what I have not done as opposed to the Europeans' biblical misnomer of thou you shall not do. The English word thou is an ecclesiastical prose meaning a person or thing addressed outside of the principle, whereas I is the principle. The results are devastating because where thou shall not kill, it leaves ajar the door for the first person to kill without atonement. Today, it is mind-blowing for the Moorish to think in terms of themselves as gods or fruits of the great God. Nevertheless, blow it, because the minds they blow are not their own anyway. Remember, no finite mind can comprehend things infinite. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 1. It was their forefathers who established the first religious creed, parentheses, old-time religion, and they could not have accomplished this unless they themselves knew the great God in all his infinite glory. When they, the ancient African forefathers, wrote the Constitution of Maat, it was based upon the knowledge that sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. Before sin could be committed, I must be the understood principle. Without due consideration to the great God principle, then all men will suffer the same fate as did Adam and Eve, the mothers and fathers of the human family. See Adam and Eve. Compare the articles of the Constitution of Maat to the biblical 10 commandments revealed through Prophet Moses, an Egyptian ADEPT master. These laws of the Nile were established in the kingdom of God nearly 2,000 years prior to the tablets, parentheses, Torah of Moses, Islam. So at this time, we want to turn the meeting into the hands of our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay. Islam?
Islam and gratitude. And I am Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, out of the Texas territory, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, highest honors to his prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, giving high honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government, give high honors to our Act 1. I give high honors to all of our officials. I give high honors to this class, our E.A.R.S class, as well as I give honors to our instructor, Dr. Shedu Menti Amohezi Sepsuel, also known as our national assistant, Grand Sheik of Moorish America. I give honors to everything that is Moorish, our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, Holy Quran, Book of Ali, our 101s, 102s, our exhuming of a nation, all of our divine revelations. I give honor. Give honor to the forerunner of our prophet, Dr. Marcus Mosaic Raphael, as well as I give honors to the ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. We are the return of the ancient ones. And give honors to all of those on the panel and those in the audience. And I will begin. The Constitution of Ma'at. I have not done iniquity. I have not robbed with violence. I have not stolen. I have done no murder. I have done no harm. I have not defrauded. I have not defrauded offerings. I have not diminished obligations. I have not plundered the necher. I have not spoken lies. I have not snatched away food. I have not caused pain. I have not committed fornication. I have not caused shedding of tears. I have not dealt deceitfully. I have not transgressed. I have not acted guiltfully. I have not laid waste the plowed land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not set my lips in motion against any man. I have not been angry and wrathful except for a just cause. I have not defiled the wife of any man. I have not defiled the wife of any man. I have not polluted myself. I have not caused terror. I have not transgressed. I have not transgressed. I have not burned with rage. I have not stopped my ears against the words of right and truth, ma'at. I have not worked grief. I have not acted with insolence. I have not stirred up strife. I have not judged hastily. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not multiplied words exceedingly. I have not done neither harm nor ill. I have never cursed the king. I have never fouled the water. I have not spoken scornfully. I have never cursed the necher. I have not stolen. I have not defrauded the offerings of the necher. I have not plundered the offerings of the blessed dead. I have not filched the food of the infant, neither have I sinned against the necher of any of my native town. I have not slaughtered with evil intent the cattle of the necher. The Ten Commandments. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath. Keep it holy. Honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt never covet thy neighbor's house or wife. Carefully note the change of principles in the King James Bible version. Needful to say, based upon the principles of the Ten Commandments, authors of the Bible distribute these laws of the land into every court, lodge, church, home, prison, and school and hotel room. This makes every red-blooded American accountable to knowledge of the law of thou shalt not. Meanwhile, the rulers and the rich fleece its citizenry with justifiable homicides of the poor, economical rape of the working class, and coveting the wealth from neighboring countries. This too is justifiable religion, and the same gods which own the poppy fields and the attic for thou having so let me go over again. This too is justifiable homicide, and the same God which own the poppy fields and distribute cocaine into the urban interiors of the land are the same gods which punish both the dealer and the addict for thou having another drug, parentheses, drug god before them. The same gods that manufacture weapons of destruction, sell them to the common people, are the same that lock it up thou as for the use of them. Today, in the various courtrooms of America, blacks, parentheses, black, are bewildered into a stupor as to how can they, the Europeans, parentheses, the Europeans, steal, kill, covet nations, and even serve other gods before the Creator and forgive themselves with a slap on the wrist while we go to jail, big time, and executed or executed. Question mark, explanation, exclamation, question mark. Little do Negroes realize the answer rests upon the principles of the Ten Commandments in your Holy Bible. In the European cultures, the judges are exalted forms of wishful masters and honored as gods. See Freemasonry. Therefore, it should not be considered as an unsolved mystery when the laws of the G are enforced when thou goeth before him. After all, every thou, y'all, and you all is taught the Ten Commandments from childhood. Hence, this gave rise to the phenomenal warning known throughout the Christian world. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, because y'all, thou, have been commanded exactly what thou shalt not do up in here, America. This brings to light a modern day legal upheaval of fur and feathers about the 10 of the 42 laws old man Moses stole from the 42 of the ancient Comitian Constitution. Did you hear about the European chief judge for the state of Alabama who raised quite a national stink about the constitutionality of his 2,000-pound pet marble statue of the Ten Commandments not to be removed from the public's state courthouse? That was in the summer of 2003. He even threatened to chain himself to the heavy stone before he will let some Yankee politician remove the words of God from the state government's building, and had rallied thousands of supporters that agreed with his conviction. However, it's this author's firm suspicion that if anyone had really wanted to remove that rock, the good judge had been slipped the true African origin and the history, his beloved Ten Commandments, he would have ran for himself. Let me read that again. However, it's this author's firm suspicion that if anyone had really wanted him to remove the rock, the good judge had been slipped the true African origin and history of his beloved Ten Commandments, he would have ran, foaming at the mouth, and personally hammered that graven image to fine powder. The Ten Commandments, the demise of Egypt. The question is often asked, during the constitutionality of Ma'at, the commandments and the sacred institutions of the Egyptian mystery system, with all the world's first wisdom, philosophies, and civilization, how could Egypt allow itself to be conquered by the Greeks, Romans, Arabs, French, and British? Over these past 2,300 years, these invading empires have taken turns at raping Egypt, destroying her intellectual and historical resources, knowing Egypt was the light and held the keys to civilization. But why? Did the great God forsake the cradle of the human family? How could the combined Cometian upper and lower kingdoms fall victims to these lesser god men? Firstly, there is no one answer to this line of inquiry, but there is a great answer among the many. It lies within Kemet's holy instructional system itself. Drawley states, of all those of Pansel, Drawley states of those who the sons of men have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves, the scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself, Egypt, where these right. The scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself, Egypt, parenthesis, Egypt, were these ensigns given, not meant for thine own, but the good of thy kingdom. Watch Holy Quran 29, 1 through 2. The strength of Egypt was in its heart. It must be remembered, Kemet, Egypt, represents the gnosis of the Mexims of Kubalan or Africa. Origin and divinity of the human family, first civilization and cultural empires founded upon man's harmony with his creator, establishment of all sciences, medicines, mathematics, astronomy, botany, philosophy, jurisprudence, art, dentistry, surgery, architecture, and literature and religions. Remove the above from today's European countries, for example, America, Canada, England, Britain, Australia, Germany, Greece, Italy, etc., 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 and this entire world as we know it would crumble into utter darkness. Wisdom, which is the consciousness that man and Allah are one, Watch Holy Quran 7, verse 23, was given to the early Cometians by the first physical man, Adamites, Nubian Moabites. Then temples, sacred schools, and universities of holistic life sprung up from one end of the Nile to the other and throughout Egypt land, producing pharaohs, angels, and men of wisdom and sciences. However, here was just one thing wrong with the Egyptian mystery system, with its deification curriculum. It was ultimately confined predominantly to the rich, the rulers, for example, the pharaohs, elite, ambassador initiates from foreign lands, and people of means. These teachings were restricted, even forbidden from the common people. For example, the poor, handicapped, slaves, lower class, aliens, undesirables, John Doe citizen, etc. Although it must be remembered, the average lifespan of Cometians was 30 years of age. The Holy Prophet Drew Ali revealed this as a great failing in our history as the enmity between the lion and the lamb. The lamb is the poor people, the lion is the rulers of the rich. Most Holy Quran 46, verse 3. Speaking of lambs, most theologians fail to point out the ignorance of the lamb. Yes, it is true that lambs are humble, meek, gentle, even cuddly. But lambs are also so dumb until they would be extinct if it weren't for a few self-employed shepherds. Then again ask any wolf, either shepherd or wolf, tell would find itself. Then again ask any wolf, either shepherd or wolf will tell you that a predator can attack a flock of lamb, devouring one lamb from the flock per day until the entire flock has been consumed. It is in the nature of the lamb to be as stupid as it is ignorant. Therefore, although the remaining lambs witness its own demise, the flock will remain in the dining area until the last rack of lamb has been served. Wonder why most black preachers who happen to also be Masons are dubbed as shepherds, and their black Christian congregations are called flocks or parentheses lambs. When it comes to enemy invasions, lambs are simply not prepared to defend against the majestic lion. These lessons of the oneness of God and man were originally assigned to the first family, created in the garden in the east of Africa. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 through 15. Their, their very first instructions were to eat only the deific and leave the compound tree of good and evil alone. Genesis 16 through verse 17. See Adam and Eve. But later, in his fall, man reinterpreted these orders to mean greed, make babies, and acquire human knowledge. It was during this portion of the fall of man when the survival of the fittest became the law of the earthland. They were supposed to discipline the will of all men. Later, ever so often, the Egyptian adept graduate, for example, Moses, Melchizedek, Abraham, Solomon, David, and Yehoshua, would violate the secret of the blessed and peculiarly favored, then would attempt to teach these saving powers to fallen humanity. Usually, as carnal men not wanting the light, these prophets were rewarded with heavy doses of misunderstandings, exile, and death. Moreover, wanting the light, moreover, by their very own nationals of whom they had come to save. Let me repeat that. Usually, as carnal man not wanting the light, these prophets were rewarded with heavy doses of misunderstandings, exile, and death. Moreover, by their very own nationals, of whom they had come to save. The adepts and gods of ancient Kemet knew the public was unstable and ungrateful. Man must be given the truth in degrees according to his consciousness at that time. However, the pharaohs developed parentheses secret brotherhoods to withhold these truths. Pardon. During his illustrious life, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, knowing the opposition to the truth embedded in the minds of his Moors, appealed to their Christianized state when he wrote on page 3 of his Holy Quran, "These lessons are for all those who love pardon. These lessons are for all those who love Yehoshua and desire to love his life, works, and teachings. Also, how the father can set their house in order, and the mothers are to teach these lessons to your children, to your little ones." Today, man still believes the truth is not for everyone, but that is not what Allah has said. Here in America, the European has patterned their educational system upon the identical format as the ancient Egyptians. Harvard, Yale, private academies, and prestigious halls of learning are for the notables and wealthy. Meanwhile, the public and parochial schools, under the guise of these sheepskin rulers, are programmed in continuing miseducation of the masses. The knowledge of self has never been on the educational agenda of the American school systems. This is the complete circle of how the rulers and the rich so loved the principles of the Ten Commandments because it allowed the rich to live while the poor still suffer and die. Also, this shows the origin of the esoteric and the esoteric / exoteric big I little u principles being practiced worldwide today. See Freemasonry. It also is an explanation why all the Egyptian conquerors sought first to put out the light in Egypt, because of it being the capital, pardon myself, because of it being, oh yeah, okay, the capital of the dominion of Africa and having the keys to civilization. Egypt was and is the light of the world. When the light, truth, goes out in Africa's Egypt, all of humanity is blackened into the cares of the world. Most Holy Quran 47, chapter 47. This is why Noble Drew Ali said, I am the fifth and last prophet, and I am 5 times more powerful than I was before, because he taught the little open book, so revealed all secrets to all men. See Morse Holy Quran, page 3, and Revelation 10. He brought these lessons of saving powers to all men, all nations, to be taught universally under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Morse Holy Quran, chapter 1 and 11. Then, and only then, will the lion and the lamb lay down together, and neither will be harmed when morning comes. Morse Holy Quran 46, verse 5. When this is done, America, the new Egypt of the West, will be the eternal light for all humanity, never to be extinguished again. Let's make sure I keep going. Okay, I think this is where I am. Gratitude for allowing me to read. Islam.
Islamism without the schism. Well, having already risen, we continue to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right psychically, and give all praises to the great God Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution, and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. Unqua Jet Seneb, life, health, and prosperity be upon you all, Moorish kin. And also our family, who is also checking in. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe if you have not, and tell the people, what it is that you are hearing here in our ears, our Egyptian ADEPTUS Research Sultanate session. We are dealing with the Hieratic Egyptian. This will be entitled Mathenos lesson number 2. And I'm going to have to go back and put these things in order as well so that our Moorish kin can go into them. We are actually dealing with the drawing coming forth from the Skillful Scribes, dealing with what is called the middle rate in Kemet. Like I said in our last session, we want to give honors to all of our scribes, that demonstrated their particular measures and everything it is that y'all brought to us and what you taught to us in relation, to the reverse engineering the pictorials back into the actual hieratic. So today we got a powerful drawing because we're going to be going into actually showing you what we mean when we say that the alphabets are alphabets, and actually demonstrating, the root origin of the alphabets. So pay attention, family, because this is going to be a powerful measure here. We're the only ones teaching this, so anybody that you see out here that, may be trying to bite it and steal it, they're going to have a hard time basically trying to go into this information, because there is no methodology outside of what we have been teaching in this particular area. And so it was a long time coming, and our scribes are most definitely well saddled and equipped for the journey along the way, because we also look forward to the young and not yet born, the third and the fourth generation, and we know 3 and 4 is 7. We look forward, to those who will be coming behind us, to carry this measure even further than what it is that we have. And we are most definitely still in the process of bringing these things forth, in the form of text. We just want to make sure that when our people get this information, it is mentally edible in order for them to consume it and be able to grow as a result of what it is that they have been given. And this will be coming forth from our own. We already know most of the source materials that we use. It come from either native-born Egyptians, or we are standing upon the shoulders of our ancestors, such as our beloved brother, Dr. Walter Williams, along with brother Mustafa Gadala, who was born in Egypt, in Cairo, to be exact, and a host of other scholars, so to speak, and a lot of the works that our brother Mustafa Gadala has, he utilizes the Europeans' own information to debunk a lot of what it is that has been taught. So it's a shame that the so-called Egyptologists and those who think that they are chematologists, have overlooked the hieratic script and the hieratic language and dismissed it. And this is, the main reason as to why our people will continue to be at the mercy of someone else when it comes to their interpretation, of our information, so to speak. So, Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. And when I tell you we have some grand drawings that we are getting ready to embark upon, you put it this way right here, you're going to know exactly where the alphabet come from when we get done with this special drawing. So without further ado or delay, we're going to get into this measure, and y'all just sit back and enjoy and learn, family, learn. So let me go here. Okay, here we go. Want to give honor again to our family, Brother Charles Warrior, Divine Angel Wisdom, Sister Sakina Ra. All of you, thank you for your presence. And also those who may be watching that may have not commented in the comment section. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And I'm going to share the entire screen. That way, all bases are covered, so to speak. And let's see, I want to close out some of these windows that we're not using, that are not necessary at this particular time. That way everything runs smoothly. Okay. We'll close that one out too, because we don't need it. Just give me a second here. Well, all is well. It ain't in the way. Okay. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is what we have. In our last session, we proved that hieratic, came before, the pictorials. We proved this. We done proved it many times over and over again, so you can just go back into the history. But what we are dealing with right now, we are going to get into the hieratic letter by letter, and so like I said, you will see by the time that we go through this special drawing, you will have some foundation in the hieratic. Nobody is teaching this, so what we're going to do, we're going to start right here. And, in this text that we have here, this is dealing with Poe, the writing of the Skillful Scribes. You know, this is one of the main documents we use because it's one of the more extensive that has been transliterated, and different ligatures have been created, you know, to lay a basis in the foundation. So we had to take the collective of all of this information that we have studied and researched on our own and bring it into cohesion to make it make sense to the people, you know, that are learning. So here on page 12 is speaking of what we call monoliteral phonograms. This is you got to remember, these are terminology that the European, you know, scholars come up with, and they try to basically create systems, you know, to make them be able to understand what our ancestors taught and what they brought. But, you know, there's often things that are being hid from the eyes and the ears of the masses, and you'll find that out in a little bit. So it says there are 25 single consonantal values that are represented by glyphs. And these glyphs, it say, are commonly referred to as the Egyptian alphabet. However, the term monoliteral is more appropriate, as the term alphabet usually refers to a writing system that is exclusively monoliteral. That is one in which all of the symbols represent phonemes. And it states, some people, when we go into this aspect, the Egyptian monoliteral glyphs all represent sounds and are thus phonograms. This is what they are telling you. You see? Now, what we have found is that it says the following are monoliteral phonograms arranged in order to traditionally used in Egyptian dictionaries, and you will note that some glyphs have alternative forms. Now, we already know that this particular order here, you know, that they have tried to compare these pictures to the hieratic, which you can see a lot of this stuff is definitely not what it should be. But, you know, this is what the European came up with, and we call this, you know, we're going to ask our scribes what we call this right here. You know, we'll let them get an answer. This is hieratic. So what is this when we take a letter from hieratic into a picture scribe? Anybody come forth and tell us what that's called?
Islam, I would say that's re-engineering. I mean,
It's reverse engineering, but there's a particular terminology that we use.
what
It's a word that's used that the European like to use.
Methenetter?
Nope, not that word. Any other scribe?
The hieroglyphs?
Transcription.
Oh,
Oh.
transcription.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what the European created, because they say they transcribe these letters into pictures, remember? So if they transcribe these letters into pictures, that's what Champollion basically did. That became their methodology of replacing the letters with pictures, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this is how you come up with these symbols being compared to these actual alphabets, because the hieratic is the actual Egyptian language. So a lot of people, we always said, they try to use the fact that the pictures existed on monuments, you know, and say, okay, well, this is how they was demonstrating. No, but we understand that hieroglyphics were what we call holy impressions, sacred, you know, engraving or sacred, you know, it all has to do with carving, impressions or engraving. That is totally different from writing a language, you know, because if that was the case, then they'll still be engraving right now, and the same methodology will be used. So we try to tell our people who don't know no better, you know, because they have accepted what the European has taught them. You know, if it was only 700 symbols and the European added 7,000 more to the symbols, 7,000 that didn't exist during the time of the ancient Kemites, then how in the world can you use that particular measure to decipher something that existed before the Romans and the Greeks created those 7,000 glyphs that they added to it. Because the ancient Egyptians would have no knowledge of that because they were long gone, thousands of years prior to the Ptolemies coming up with the 7,000 that they added to them, and then mixing them in with the 700 that come from ancient Kemet, you see, and basically creating a Sheffel pie, you know, and confusing our people. So nevertheless, we are only coming through this in special measure to show you some things, but we going into detail of each one of these letters because they don't give you certain measures here, but we're going to use this and go reference by reference, you know, as we bring up what I call the Hieratic Master Key. And the Hieratic Master Key is a compilation of everything it is that I have researched, and I put it together, and we're finna get into that in a second. So we want you to see this, and notice this is not in Abjad order. It's not ABGD. This is the same order that the modern day Egyptologists try to use when it comes to the letters, you know. So this is, again, the Hieratic, which is known as the Medu in Kemet. This is hieroglyphic, which is often referred to as Medu, you know, the language of the gods. And so the language of the gods is not spoken as you hear me speaking now. The language of the gods has to do with being able to observe the book of creation, observe these signs and symbols in the book of creation that are for the conscious mind of men and women of understanding. And once they are able to properly decipher what it is that they see in nature, the ancestors, the gods, are speaking to them and through them to the masses to give them a grand insight. These pictorials represent formulas, and we have proven this. And these formulas scientifically, you know, represent an expression of being able to give our people knowledge of even being able to heal themselves and understand better their surroundings. These pictures represent observation. We prove that this was the original process that was utilized by the ancient Egyptians. We done did it over and over. Prior to Champollion coming up with his transcription, you know, taking these pictures and making them into what he called Greek letters, you see, which creates a whole different dynamic. But we're going to show you that these letters stood alone, and we're going to show you a whole bunch of other measures in a minute once I go into the Hieratic Master Key, you know, which I put together to bring some clarity to you all in regards to dealing with this subject matter so you can never be misled again. So as we can see, we look at these various hieratic letters, you know, and then we see the comparison that they try to say, well, this is a Y right here, right? And they trying to tell you that's a picture. But we already know that this is called a pseudo alphabet by those who truly know the teaching. This is not the real alphabet. This is the real alphabet here. The pseudo alphabet is the pictorials that were created by Champollion. And then we find out that even in the so-called Rosetta Stone, which was created by the Ptolemies, you know, it has been forged as well. We done proved that, you know, on numerous occasions. So right now, they have those that are trying to blackball this information, but they can't do it, you know, because the truth gonna get out there. The truth crushed to the earth gonna always rise again. You see, this is definitely, most definitely a part of those, the tablet of law dealing with the resurrection of the light. So anyway, they would try to say, okay, this is Y. Then they try to say, okay, this is another A. You know, and ayin is the word we use. You know, and they're giving you the expression and sound. Then they say, well, this is, you know, the bird, this quail chick, and they want you to believe that these letters are quail chicks now. And well, this quail chick and then this little spiral, they want you to believe that's that. You don't see. Come on, people. Come on, stop it. You know, good and well. So this is what the European were doing. Any pictorial that they can find, they was trying to compare them to hieratic letters, you know, when they should have just went on ahead and used the hieratic letters with the transliteration and went along with it. They created a pseudo alphabet by placing pictures here and replacing the hieratic with pictures. We got numerous source and source material. Go look back at the other classes prior to this. We exposed all of that. we have where they even come up with this stuff. So you know good and well these two different expressions right here, family. Nothing alike. This is nothing. This don't look like no quail chick. Even though they try to act this look like a, this ain't don't look like no arm. Stop letting these people fool you. So then they come up with this one right here. They say, all right, you know, this is the one. It look just like, you know, this particular lower leg and foot. So this is the letter B. No, this is the letter B, not this. There's deeper knowledge in these symbols, you know, that has very extensive metaphysical meaning behind them. You know, when you try to make this a B, you putting this in a box. There's formula, divine formula in understanding what this really represents, as opposed to this as being a real letter. This is a real letter here. This is the Medu and Kemet, real language of the Egyptian. This deal with the language of the gods. There's a difference between the two. You see? Language of the Egyptians, language of the gods. So anyway, you know, when we come over here, we have what they try to tell you is a letter P here, right? And then they say this is the symbol that equates to this. Look at the difference between these two. Every now and then they almost get away with symbols that look similar, but they're still not the same. But if these are two different symbols here, how do two different symbols represent the same expression, you know, over here? You see? So then when you come here, they want you to believe this is the owl in hieratic. Come on, people, stop it. See that then this is the owl too, a whole nother symbol. So they were guessing when they put this stuff together. They want you to believe that this is the letter M. But this is the letter M. This is another expression of the letter M. You know, in most cases, you get into a lowercase and uppercase expression, or in the ligatures, there's a connection between them. Then they want you to believe that this symbol in hieratic represent this picture, which they consider water, and represent the letter N. Then they want you to believe that this mouth, as they like to call it, the ancient Egyptian didn't call it that, because this language, English, dealing with mouth and water, really didn't exist. You know, they would have called it something else in their language, you know, but they want you to believe that this symbol in hieratic equates to this. So you can see how they were reaching when they created, you know, this mix match. See here, they try to get away with it here, and they still fall short. They want you to believe that's the letter H. You see? But we're going to show you what it means. See, they want you to believe that this symbol is the same as this twisted flax or this rope, so to speak. They want you to believe that. They want you to believe that this symbol, which is often referred to, sometimes they call it placenta. You know, they want you to believe that this is the hieratic symbol here. They want you to believe that this hieratic symbol is this. And we told you when we went into Senzar, you know, that there are only so many symbols that you can take. And if you look hard enough, you can find across the board in all languages. We can go into some of the, we did it in the last class, showed you some Chinese letters, you know, or Japanese letters that we can try to match up the pictures. You see what I'm saying? And create a whole nother language. And that's all they did. They want you to believe that these two letters here in hieratic represent this, and they like to call these boats. And they want to say this is the letter S. No, this is the letter S. So these transliterations over here are really in reference to this and not these pictures. These pictures were only used, created by the European, you know, in order for them to create a systematic approach, you know, so that they could try to understand what it was that was taught. You see? But we're going to dispel all of this. So here's the symbol they call in the folding cloth right here. But they want to say, okay, this is this. It's easy to find these things here and say they equate it to, they look just like it, and all that noise and nonsense. Here's another expression. They want you to believe that this is the SH right here, and it equates to this. You know, they make it sound good and real good, family. You got to remember, the European literally found Egyptian papyri and then went to the monuments and tried to compare what they found in the monuments to these particular hieratic letters. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. When you look at things like this here, to those who have, an eye, they'll say, well, that look just like the expression. It got to be it. But some of these things are obviously not the same in shape. When you look at it, look at that. And they want to tell you this is the hill slope in hieratic, and this they want to say is the actual hill slope as it is, a picture, right? You don't even know if the Egyptians used the term hill slope, and we know they didn't, because the term hill slope didn't exist 2,000 years ago. The English language is only what, 500 years old. So a lot of the terminology that we're using, the ancient Egyptians wouldn't even know what you're talking about, because the language didn't exist for them to know what you're talking about. The English language, what was say what, 5,000-6,000 years in the future, or even more. So they want you to believe that this is a basket with a handle, and that this is the hieratic letter that's equivalent to this. Come on, man. You can't just go into a language and start comparing pictures to real letters and then say you have the actual alphabet here and then discard the hieratic, the actual language. That's backwards. And that's why we say, they reverse engineered, these pictures, by bringing them into comparison with these letters. These are pictures. These are letters. This is the alphabet, not this. And the sooner our people come into that comprehension, the better off they'll be. I don't care what they say Champollion. We done already exposed Champollion in many different ways. And we were supposed to have a debate on this right here, but I see that we got a lot of individuals trying to take information, and trying to they even trying to reverse engineer the information we putting out here. So here's another expression here, and they want you to say this is the G right here, right? This is the G right here when we're dealing with the hieratic, but they want you to say that this is G. They want you to say this is the letter T instead of this being T. We see how different these is from each other. We see how different, what they call in the tethering rope, is different from these expressions. How you going to have two different symbols, representing one picture? And both of these symbols are different, and neither one of these symbols look like the picture. So they've been guessing the whole while. They want you to believe that this is the hand in hieratic. Then they say, well, this is jet, right here in the hieratic. And it's easy to get away with that because there are only so many symbols, family, that exist in the realm of what we call alphabets. And that's all the way across the board when you're dealing with language in general. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into the hieratic master key, and I just put this together because I got to get this to the scribes. Now, we have spoken last week about what is called Sinzar. Now, Sinzar is a place that's actually in Egypt. And we showed you, it is said that this Sinzar, it represents the language of Atlantis and Lemurian. This is the Atlantean and Lemurian alphabet. You don't see pictorials here. So this is older. Now, Tehuti was said to be from Atlantis. And he was said to actually go into the Nile Valley civilization and teach Osiris. He is known as the god of writing. The emerald tablets of Tehuti, when we go into them, the characters that are in those texts are very relative to these. And we kind of joked around dealing with this Sinzar and said if we was dealing with the methodology of reverse engineering these in the pictures, we can say that this, was a particular brother right here, this thing I'm circling around on his knees, basically praying with his palms up. We can say this represented a woman, so we were showing how the European came up. We said this was a baby, getting ready to jump or whatever the case may be. All types of stuff. We was just joking around, by looking at these different characters. But Sinzar is said to represent the different characters from whence all alphabets originate, and this is in reference to the language of Atlantis and Lemuria. Atlantis existed and Lemuria existed. We done proved this already. Go look at my videos. You know, they called the most ancient man Atlantis Mauritanikus. You know, so this is before he was called Homo erectus. So what we did, we gave you some characters here. You know, now you see the language of Sinzar here, the style of it. These are not pictures. These are alphabetical characters. Now, in this particular measure coming from a work that I have, you know, this shows what it says, Memphis Oriental. And you can see the style right here. Look at this style, you know, of alphabets, right? And then when you come over here and look at the Sinzar, you can see this is a style of alphabet. And they have Herm that most likely deal with Hermetic. Now then they have another drawing over here. We're going to get into something real quick after we show this. This is more of what you call Sanskrit. They call it the Vedas, right? Now notice they use the term hieroglyph and there ain't no pictures here in this particular drawing. Now notice here's another alphabet chart here. And this is more close to what you call a Hebrew style of writing here. You know, box Hebrew to be exact. You know, we can go on and on. Look at these different styles of writing which represent letters. And we can take all those same letters coming from different people and we can come right in here and see the similarity between that and the Sinzar. That goes back to the Atlantean, or that goes back to the Lemurian. So these are actual alphabets. And in this particular picture here, if you pay attention, they actually have the letters beside it, letting you know this is the letter A, this is the letter B, this is D, you know, this is E, which is also interchangeable with the letter H. You know, on another level, this is G, Gemiel. These are what they call Hebrew alphabets. And they are found within the realm of these particular different alphabetical charts that are in these symbolic obelisks or columns. And so over here, we see the number values added to each of these letters. It's another expression of what they would call Hebrew again. You know, right here. Look at the style of the writing of the Hebrew, and you come right over here into the Sinzar, and you can definitely see that this is the style which produce all written alphabetical forms. Now, to highlight this and manifest it, you're going to see this chart throughout the whole drawing. This is a chart, you know, that was composed by Derud, which was, you know, one that was in the Egyptology. You know, and he was one that actually was of the proper perception that the Hieratic, because this is the Hieratic alphabet. Notice the similarity between the Hieratic here and look at the Sinzar. That's right here. Just like we did with all these different other languages that's in these obelisks. These are different languages, you know. And see, they even got the numerical value of the geometrian right here next to this here. We see letter for letter. You know, they are comparing these things. So over here is Hieratic and we have Phoenician. So the Hieratic gave birth to Phoenician. And it was Phoenician that gave birth to what we call Hebrew over here. We have many charts that we getting ready to go into to prove that. We said it over and over again. We done told you, and now we're going to show you. We have also showed our family, you know, that in the culture of Phoenicia, they had a lot of relics that you would have thought was Kemetic if you didn't know no better. You know, because they used it, and I'm going to do this right here for the sake of just showing it to our people again. Since I mentioned it, I'll show our people real quick what I'm talking about. We done already showed them before, but just give us a second here. Let me open this up because we want to make sure that our people can really get this. Let's see, did I have, let me make sure, was it this one? No, it wasn't that one right there. I just had it open. Let's see here. Give us 1 second. Oh, yeah, I was already in it. My bad. So we showed you last week. It's always good to use the hammer of repetition. We showed you different Phoenician relics. This is supposed to be Nimrod again. But if you look at this and nobody told you, you would think this was Kemetic. You know, you would think this Kemetic, but you got to remember the Phoenicians are of the Cushitic line as well. So here's the Canaanite L with the Atef crown that all saw well. We mentioned this. This is Phoenician again. You would swear that this was straight Kemetic if you didn't know no better. So we have all of these Phoenician relics that have a Kemetic influence on them. See the lotus plant, you know, this is like another expression here. All of this is straight Phoenician. They have a Sphinx, they have like the goddesses. And when you look at, you know, the features, you know good and well, them our people. Now, when you look at the modern expression, when they talk about Phoenician, they don't look like this. They look more like Europeans and all that. But we showing you the original Phoenician, you know, expressions. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? We showing you what the ancient Phoenicians look like. Look at that Kemetic influence right there. We can't make this stuff up. All you got to do is go and look it up and it's there. All the way up to, you know, Hunnam. Look at that. Look at the Kemetic influence there. Right? We got to show you that before we go any further. Again, because it's always good to use the hammer of repetition. You know, we see the same thing here. Look at this. This is a Samai Tawi, which is normally the tying, you know, that's demonstrated by Heru and Set, dealing with lower and upper Kemet. This is being demonstrated in the Phoenician aspect. Look at the Kemetic crowns upon the head of these Phoenicians. Look at their features. Look at the broad nose and the thick lips. Look at Heh, the deity of time here. That's what that represents. Heh. You know? Now, look at the expression on the face of this Phoenician brother. You know good and well that ain't no European. Look at the nose and the lips again. You know, and we see a very popular expression here because this is often used when Heru is fearing sometime the swine or the pig, or sometime Heru is fearing from the boat of Ra, Apophis, Pepi, the serpent, or the crocodile. And this is the same thing being expressed here in the Phoenician expression. Here is an expression of the Phoenician goddess, you know, that is equivalent to what we call Katesh. Katesh is synonymous with where the word Kadesh or Spirit, Holy Spirit come from. That's why they say the Father God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which represents the woman. So this is Katesh, the Phoenician's version of it. See, she has the Badet above her head, Al Badet, the winged sun disk, right? This is Phoenician now. Look at this. All Phoenician. Man, we can't make this stuff up. So if, look at it, they even got a Heru expression here, you know, in the Phoenician culture. You know, so seeing all of this, we definitely see that there was some overlap between ancient Kemet and Phoenician. These are all Phoenician, not Kemetian relics, family. So now that we have this knowledge, we understand the influences there. Again, like I say, we got to make these visuals for you, not so that we're dealing with lookership, but to make these things clear to our people so they know exactly what it is that we demonstrate. So this is what we see, the hieratic alphabet, the one we were just showing you that they was trying to compare to the pictures. Here, Desroes isolated the alphabet and he compared the hieratic to the Phoenician alphabet. And you can actually see some of the similarities between this. If this had a line in it, it would go over here. You can see that this particular letter here, you know, would be equivalent to it. We can see the top half of this letter here would actually be here. You know, this is like A, B, G, D, and it's in abjad order. You know, when things are in abjad order, in most cases, this is a telltale sign that this is of the original But when they have it rearranged in a different order that is not A, B, G, D, then that is a telltale sign that the alphabet has been recently produced, or it is a remix. The ABGD is the DNA of the language. All original alphabet starts with the ABGD. Some people call it abjad. Abjad did not start with the Arabs, contrary to popular belief. So this is A, B, G, and D right here. We're going to prove this to you in a minute. We can say it off the head because we know what we're looking at. But I'm finna show it to you in a minute. I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show it to you. So it goes on, dealing with the comparison of the Hieratic, which is Egyptian, compared to the Phoenician. We see the Phoenician letter here, is actually the same, but it's just turned upright. This is more horizontal. This is perpendicular. We see this particular letter in Hieratic is similar to this one in Phoenician. This is turned again perpendicular. This is horizontal. You see what they call, it looked like a T here, right? This is sa, like T and a S sound that they use. And that's why this looks like a Z, which became a Z even in our alphabet. Some of these symbols like this right here, which later became a H in our alphabet, this is what the H looked like in Hieratic. So we can see this. This is another T. This is the letter T in Hieratic. And look at what the T became here. That's like the quadratic circle that we have in our chart of Islamism. They would say this pictorially represents a town. You see, if they were trying to compare this. But this is Phoenician. This is Hieratic. I'm showing you that the Hieratic alphabet in Egypt gave birth to Phoenician. This is the missing link that you have not been taught about, because they'll tell you that Hebrew come from Phoenician. So where did Phoenician come from? The Hieratic, with the exception of changing a few letters. We can also see here that this expression here is a little off, but we can see the connection between these measures where they take a different portion off, and like this portion here is, if you were to isolate the top half, you'll still see that same symbol. So as these symbols evolve, they evolve into whatever it is the people that create them choose to make them. This is the letter L right here. So this letter L in Hieratic, and this became the L, in the Phoenician, which looks similar to our L. We just have a more refined bottom line, and it goes straight across instead of having that little curver going in there. This is the letter M in Hieratic. Now look at the letter M. It actually looks more like the letter M that we have. This actually looks like the letter M if you were to turn it toward the left a little bit. So this letter M that we have in our language can be traced all the way back to this letter M that comes from the Hieratic, and it comes into what we call the Phoenician. So here is the N, the letter N. And I'm going to show y'all all of this right here. I ain't just making these letters up. I'm going to show it. I just know it off my head, family. And I'm going to show it to y'all in a minute. We got to make this plain, though, so we going letter by letter. Look at the letter N here. It's the same thing. So then they have the symbol here. They say this is the letter S. Remember we was talking about the boats. They tried to make it boats. This is letter S in Hieratic. And we can see as we go on and on, family, it's the same thing. We can see the connection to these Hieratic letters and these Phoenician letters, family. Look at that. Look at the comparison. These comparisons are spot on with the exception of the alteration of those who created their own alphabet. So the Phoenicians, again, most definitely, we can see the adaptation and the adaptation, so to speak, or the adopting of what they created. And I'm talking about it go all the way down to the last alphabet. So let's give a count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And in this particular measure, you'll see in the Phoenician, It actually goes even into the 22. But even when we come here and look at this first letter, which is hieratic in Phoenician, and we go over to this Hebrew chart right here, to the letter A, you can see the connection there. And look at the letter B. We can see the connection to the letter B. And we can go all the way down, but we finna get further into detail. But remember, all of this is coming from these characters that were originally created as the language of Atlantis and Lemuria. Tehuti's language. He civilized Kemet. He taught Asa the art of writing. When he went into Kemet to civilize the Nile, it was said that the people in the Emerald Tablets, they were savage. And this was after the fall of Atlantis. He went into Kemet. You see, so the migration actually came from the east. They went across the North Africa and settled in the area that is now called, Atlantis, the Richat structure. And then after that civilization fell due to what they call a flood, it was many different destructions too, by the way, like 4 different destructions, all the way back to, 100,000 years prior to the last one that's closer to us, that we are familiar with, that some people like to refer to as the flood of Noah. But these different floods took place, cataclysmic events, and they caused, a difference in the terrain. This is why if you go into the area that is referred to today as what we call the Sahara, you will find that there were whale bones found in the sand because water used to be there. So this is other proof that we have scientifically. So Derug was on to something, but the Egyptologists didn't follow suit. They didn't take heed. So we're finna get deeper into this right here. Let's move to our next slide. We just really featuring, we're going to continue to feature this slide all the way to the end because this is our flagship expression here to get our point across. But we're going to read this to you. Read this last week. Listen to what is being said here. It says the argument of the preceding pages may now be restated categorically as follows. The Semitic occupation of Egypt, this is talking about the so-called Hebrews, being this area, even the Arabs, lasted for several centuries. It says the origin of the Semitic alphabet, i.e. so-called Hebrew, i.e. so-called Arabic, if you want to look at it that way, is connected with this occupation by 3 distinct lines of evidence. The first is external. The sojourn of Israel in Egypt is nearly synchronous with the Hyksos period. So they are letting you know that when the Hyksos were there, that the Hyksos in all actuality were really the people that some people call Israelites. They also were known as Canaanites. They also were known as the Amu at a particular time. So you have to know the different names that they took upon based upon the time that they were there. But that's a whole nother measure. It says, before the Hebrews went down into Egypt, the art of writing was unknown to them. And our brother Walter Williams made that same exact statement, family. When they came out of Egypt, they ended up having an alphabet, a writing system, the Israelites. So here it is again establishing this, and that writing system or the alphabet chart comes from the Phoenician, that comes from the Hieratic. Now I told y'all we ain't even playing over here. It says the inference seemed clear. It must have been acquired from the kindred races who occupied the Delta. The internal evidence points to the same conclusion. The forms of the Semitic letters were not derived from monumental hieroglyphics, but from cursive hieratic, the Theban hieratic. So again, so the Semitic letters, the letters in themselves did not come from monumental hieroglyphics. They came from the cursive hieratic through the Phoenician language. Big facts. Now we done told you and we showed you. Now let's go to our next measure. When we go into this, And this right here actually let me hit my link. So my link is live. I'm showing you where I got that from. This is called The Origin of the Alphabet right here. Written by Isaac Taylor, often quoted by Mustafa Gadala. And he tells you how the hieratic here pretty much gave birth, to the language. See, he said, assuming that the Rug, whose chart that is, proved his case, certain chronological consequences are involved. We have seen that there are two distinct hieratic scripts differing from each other in essential particulars. The hieratic of the New Empire, represented by numerous papyri of the 18th and 19th dynasty, and the hieratic of the early empire, represented by the papyri of Prissy, which is called the Book of Tahotep, the oldest book in the world, written in hieratic, not hieroglyphics. It is an essential feature of de Rogue's hypotheses that the earlier hieratic alone can the Semitic alphabet be affiliated. Not pictures. The Semitic alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet I showed you, it can only be affiliated with the hieratic language. Thus, the tails which are possessed by several of the Semitic letters, and you just see me go through them, such as Daleth, Nun, Pe, Quaf, and Resh, can only be explained as having been obtained from the characteristic tail forms of the early hieratic. These tails being either absent or inconspicuous, in the hieratic of the New Empire. So they said, in addition to these tail forms are other peculiarities which are equally decisive. A good instance is supplied by the hieroglyph of the shutter, which takes the cursive form of this particular symbol in the papyrus of Prissy and affords an obvious prototype of the Semitic letter Pe. So they're saying this is the Hebrew letter Pe, which is actually another F expression. P and F is interchangeable. Sometimes B as well. But if you look at this symbol in the hieratic, this is hieratic, and look at the Hebrew expression, you can see the derivation. The only difference is you don't see the 3 slashes on the top. But when the New Empire rose, the early hieratic form had gone out of use, and we find in the later hieratic an entirely new cursive type, which is this symbol, where they isolated the bottom symbol from this top portion up here, and it looked like this, which plainly cannot have descended from the old hieratic form, but must have been an independent derivative from the monumental hieroglyph. And it goes on. It breaks all of this stuff down, family, in this book. You got to get this book right here by Isaac Taylor. This is the actual well, you can't download it, but it got the majority of this information in it. This is dealing with the origin of the alphabet, and it goes on and on, talking about the prototypes of Semitic letters can only be found in the cursive writing of the ancient Egyptian empire. And when they're talking about the cursive writing again, they are speaking, when we go back to the hieratic key, when you go back to the hieratic master key, this is the cursive. This is where your alphabet originated from. We are the only ones that have brought this to you, in this particular way. Now, again, like I said, I'm going to keep this over here because this is very important as we go into, evolving, into where we was putting these things together. Now, in the center here, this is the actual alphabet, which is hieratic. Same thing over here, but I put it in abjad order. This is my chart. This chart don't exist outside of me putting it together this way. So I put it in the abjad order. It took some time too for me to do this. Notice I ain't got no pictures up here. I got the pure alphabet up here, and it's called ABGD hieratic. I have it here letter by letter with all of the sounds, side by side. Aleph, this is bet, this is ga, this G, this is the letter D, which is interchangeable with T as well. D, more pronounced like that. This is the H, this is H, this is H2. So I put them all in categorization by each other, those letters that are close to each other. Then we have the W, which is this symbol, character. And then we have the T, and here's the H here again. This is T again. This is J or I, interchangeable, in sound shifting. And we have the Y here, This represents the letter G in hieratic. This is the letter R in hieratic. This is the letter M in hieratic. No pictures. Straight metal ray increment. Straight letters. You see? This is N, right? This is the S, which is also interchangeable with the Z. Z, 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 Z. You see, this is A again, I, the I. We got a facial recognition chart. We're going to show that to you in the end of this measure. You know, this is P, pay, the pay. See how they isolated it? Remember, they were just talking about this in Isaac Newton measure. I'm going to go back over here just so that our family can see it again. Where is it? I just had it up here a few minutes ago. Oh, I got to do this in order to do that. So look at this P here. Let's go back. I forgot it's here. I had to go here. So now when we come back up here, let's blow this up a little bit. There it is. You see the symbol right here? You see that top piece that's on the hieratic letter? And when we go back, hit it again. There we go. Go back to our hieratic master key. There it is. This is the actual P. Then this is the letter S. This is the letter Q, which is also interchangeable with the letter K. You know, sometimes you see Quran and Koran. You see the change, and you know, this is the letter that birthed that hieratically. This is the hieratic letter R. This is the hieratic letter that refers to the S and the H, because we already know that little divot right there, an arrow that's pointing down on the top of that S is a sh sound. See right here? And also the R is interchangeable with the L as well. You know, but that's a whole nother message. And this is the last letter T. Again, another T. So when we look at all of this, and then we come over here to this side, remember what we were told? You know, the hieratic and hieroglyphic writing compared. Importance of hieroglyphic writing. The following example of hieratic writing is taken from the Prissy Papyrus. That's the Book of Tahotel, upon which at the period of BC 2600, 2 texts containing moral precepts which were composed about 1,000 years ago were written. Now remember, it say, now if we transcribe these in the hieroglyphs, we obtain the following. And we showed y'all in our last class, we went letter for letter on how they transcribed this hieratic letter into this picture. They transcribed this hieratic letter into this picture. They transcribed this letter all the way into this picture, all the way through this whole chart. Remember we did the counting on the letters? It was 21. We got 21 that are mentioned here, you know, that they done compared to these pictures. And none of these pictures look like these alphabets, but you know, the European created that in their pseudo-hieroglyphic alphabet chart. You know, they Ptolemaic alphabet they created. So now that I've showed you my chart that I've created with the sounds on them in the abjad order, you know, this is where it get good at. You know, because in other words, what we are showing you here, let's go back. We are showing you that this is the letter A. You see? And then we going into the B. We see the G, the D, D. We can see here, pretty much there's a lot that is similar. This is real close to dealing with, like I say, the abjad order. You know, and we can go letter for letter in most cases, and we'll see it. But let's go a little further. You know, some of them are, you know, in different areas, but the ABG, the hieratic is there. So now let's go again. Like I say, we're going to keep the Rogues chart right here as we go through it. That's my chart next to it. So we have another chart here. This is where we remove all dot. Now let's take a look at this. This is the letter A. So let's look at this letter A and this letter A. Letter A in my chart here. Letter A over here, right? This is the letter B. See, the letter B goes all the way into the Latin language. This is B, right? This is they even got the Hebrew letters in here, just like they had in the first chart that I came forth with. So this is the letter B. You can see how this evolves into the B. Like this turn, if you turn this all the way to the left, you have a little B symbol, but this is like the capital B. This would be like a lowercase b if you turn it all over, but evolving out of the hieratic letter. You know, Here it is right here. See the B right here in the Rogues chart coming from the Phoenician. See the B right here in Hieratic. Now let's go back over here. The same two letters. These pictures are not letters here. These are the alphabets. See, and then the Greeks got it, and the B was actually backwards, and then they end up turning it the way that we have it, and it evolved into the Latin. And then this is the Hebrew version of it. Bait is what they call it. So here again, we have that same letter that we referred to earlier, right? This goes into the G. This is Gamil, as they call it in Hebrew. See this? G. So let's go back over here. See the G right here? In the alphabet I have, G. Now look at the G here. So we can see the abjad is being worked in this chart. Let's go to the next letter. Beneath that, this is the D, which is also pronounced sometimes T. See, they want you to believe it's a hand, but look at the symbol here. And then go over here, and you see the D. See? Come right here, and we see, the letter E here, right? See, the E was originally backwards, and they turned it that way. See, this is how they get you. See, it was here horizontal. This is the actual hieratic E. Go over here, and you can see the connection of the hieratic E. Remember I say E and H is interchangeable. That's what letter, because it wasn't no E in that particular language, at that time, the ancient time. So that E became what we call, the E came from the H, basically, is what I'm saying, And so as it evolved, that's how it come up. So E and H interchangeably together represent the same thing. So here we have, again, this expression here, the H, and then you'll see them in different spots as we go through different aspects of the language. You just have to know what it is that you're looking at. This is the other H. Then they have another H. In the Hebrew, they didn't have all them H's like that right there. So some of the symbols you won't see. You can see this H that come out of Hebrew that corresponds with this particular H right here, for example. You see, and I didn't mention these portions as well. Like the Z, all of those, you'll find them in different areas. But, like this letter here, which goes into this particular area, so this is the F, corresponding with the P, and so forth and so on. As we go down in here, we find these things, family, letter by letter. All of these different letters correspond, is what I'm getting at. And this is just by looking at the chart and finding the English letter that goes letter by letter, right? So now when we go even further into this particular drawing, family, I'm telling you, like, it never fails. All of these particular measures are most definitely on point. You see, they on point. So once we have insight of this is how we really come into a true knowledge of the decipherment. Because we find out, there it is again, that same letter. Remember we were showing you the P? See how it changed here, and then it become P over here? That's the pi symbol right there, ain't it? See all these different measures right here? And you'll find that that same letter, is in this area, but it's in this particular form. So we can see the evolution of the alphabet and therefore prove that it was indeed the hieratic that gave birth. Let me blow that up, because this is hieratic here. Gave birth to the Phoenician. Big facts. If we were to just go over here and deal with the Rogues chart, let's take a look at it now. See the A? Now go over here. There go your A. Let's see. See the B? Now let's go over here. There go your B. See the G? There go your G. See the D? Again, they go to D. They go your E. Okay, let's, my bad. Okay, so that's your E. And then when you come over here, you see the E. Okay, when you come over here, right? That's your F. You come over here, you see the F. See what I'm saying? This is your Z, a Sa. Remember that Za I was telling you? They want you to believe it's a goose. But see that symbol there, number 7, the duck? There it is right there. See the Phoenician version of it. That's your H again. You come over here, they go your H. Oh yeah, we done deciphered. This is special measure, family. Oh yeah, you ain't never seen nobody show you this here. See, it's the tethering rope. That's the hieratic expression. See it? Pay attention now. Now watch this. That's the top. You come over here. There it is. See the symbol right here? That's that T. Now watch when we come back over here. Same symbol right here. These two different charts right here. But when they put them together, it took us to be able to come over here and really give it to you like it is. See this letter here? Watch this. All right. See, that's the letter J and the letter I here. See how it looked like a Z or one straight letter? And as we come up, remember, this is the Greek form. This is the Latin form of it. You know, coming all the way into our language, right? So that's the I or the J, and look at the letters on it. Now let's go back over here, and there it is again. See them right there? Here we have it again. Another expression here. What letter is that? That's your letter K. And the K looks like a K. It was originally facing a different direction. Then it was turned in the direction we know the letter K to be today. That's the Hebrew version of it. This is the hieratic version of it. This is the Phoenician version of it. Let's look at the hieratic and the Phoenician over here in this chart. There it is. There go that K. Same two symbols here. When we come to this chart over here, we find the same thing right here. This is the letter L. See how the L pretty much kept its form? It was turned backwards in the Greek. And notice the Greek like to turn stuff backwards. That explains their thinking. But anyway, this is the letter L, lamed, you know, and this is the L that came into the Latin. This is the L in the Hebrew right here. All the way across the board, family. You know, it don't get no plainer than this. I'm proving what I'm saying. Now let somebody come and debunk this, since they know so much. There's a letter L right here in hieratic and Phoenician. This is the letter M. Remember we talked about that earlier? Now let's go back over here and look at the letter M in this chart. You see it runs all the way across the board from the letter M. Like I said, the M pretty much kept its form throughout the years all the way over here. The M is a very ancient symbol from what we can see. Look at the M. Even in the Hebrew, you can see that curvature at the top. You know, in the Latin right here, in the Greek, in the hieratic, in the Phoenician, you know, that's the M. Not this I. This is the letter M. Hieratic, and this is Phoenician. Let's go a little further again. I told y'all more. This right here, we're going to be powerful. You know, and this is the letter N right here, right? This is the hieratic again, and this is the Phoenician N. Let's go back over here. Look at the N. It actually looked like the N. Backwards again in the Greek. Backwards in the Phoenician. What they are really calling Greek, as we can see, is really Phoenician. So ain't no such thing as a Greek language. That's why you always hear me say that. It's Phoenician. Europeans just trying to make themselves more ancient than what they is. Talking about corn Greek. So this is the letter N when it was turned around. And you see it N, it all comes all the way up into the Latin language. That's the N in the Hebrew. Right? So then we come back over here again. We see the letter S right here. This is the S in Hieratic. This is the S in Phoenician. So let's go back over here. And they actually use the term X instead of S. You know, but we see it. We know that it's sound shifting is what we call it, family. It's taking the sound at the end of X, you know, to express that. So that's it right there. You know, which you know, is a very powerful drawing. When you got to understand sound shifting, and you know, these are mostly circles right here. You know, and they're using that for this particular symbol, which is, I want to say, expression of this H up here too. You know, but anyway, here's that same letter we was talking about, the P, which is the F. You know, this is the Hieratic. This is the Phoenician version. Let's come over here. There it is. See it? Oh yeah, we got them. Book them, Dano. P. That's the Hebrew P. Yeah, buddy. So again, we done debunked the myth that these are the alphabets. These are the real alphabets right here. The Medu, Re, and Kemet. This is Medu, Netta. These represent scientific formula that have mathematical and esoterical metaphysic meaning. These are the actual letters over here. Thank us later. So now let's come over here. Keep going. What letter is this? Come over here, because they all in the proper order. Here it is. You see? And that's more look like a I want to say a jet form. You know, and they didn't give you the actual letter here, which basically shows that they didn't adopt exactly, you know, what was being stated here. They had their own expression of it, you know, jet. But anyway, here you have another symbol, which is, remember that heel we was talking about? They tried to equate this with being the same thing, you know, but here is the connection between it and the Phoenician. See, it evolved as a circle with a line coming down. You know, see it right here in the Latin. And this is the Q, the letter Q here. Remember Q and the K that we was talking about? We got them right here. You know, same thing. We can see it right here. This is the Q. You know, then after the Q, we have the letter R. See the R here? That's the R there in Hieratic, R in Phoenician. There it is right there. R in Hieratic, same symbol in Phoenician. You see? And then the last two letters, we have this particular symbol, you know, at the bottom, you know, which brings us into, you know, an S as well. This is the SH though, Sheen. This is the Hebrew letter Sheen. You know, this is it right here in Hieratic. You know, we can see that this top portion right here, you know, evolved in many different ways. See how the top is horizontal, looking like a W, then it comes here, look almost like a 3, then it looked like an E here. You know, in the Greek, then it grows on and it becomes like this, which is the S here. Now the SH. This is the sh sound. And last but not least, right here, the last letter, you know, which we found being the letter T, you know, which is here, tech. And we can see it right here. The T pretty much is the same. It's taking the circle off of it and isolated in that cross-like form. This is the T in Hieratic. And again, we can see it right here. See the Hieratic symbol for T? Look at the Hieratic symbol here for T. These are two different alphabet charts, family. This is what we talk about. I couldn't bring this to you if I didn't do the research. Some people say he made that up. No, I created this chart right here in the center, which represent these same letters, but I put it in abjad order. You know, the abjad is a little off in these charts, but these are the two same, but this is the actual abjad order, the proper one, the way I put it together. You know, but them letters is definitely, each one of these letters here can be found over here. You know, we can go letter for letter and show you each one of these letters in this chart. Make no mistake about it. So now let's go to the next degree. We have another chart over here. This is D. Rogue's chart again. This is the chart I created. Now let's go over here. This says Phoenician. It's showing you the origin of the alphabet. Notice they started with Phoenician. But really, Phoenician evolved again from what? Hieratic. Because Hieratic is older than the Phoenician. Then came what they want to call ancient Greek, which is nothing more than Phoenician. Then comes ancient Persian. You know, then comes ancient Hebrew, ancient Aramaean, all deriving from Phoenician. So if they derive from Phoenician and Phoenician derived from Hieratic, then that makes Hieratic the oldest of the alphabet. And they have it in the order down here, even though they like to try to put them pictures of them glyphs up here. There it go again. Egyptian Hieratic, then the Phoenician that's found on the Moabite stone. Then comes the Siloam inscription, which is another Hebrew and another Hebrew, this Samaritan, then all the way into the square Hebrew. Aleph, Beth, Gamid, Daleth, Hey, Vol, Zain, Ket, Tet, Yod, Kap, Lam, Mim, Nun, Semek, Ain, Pe, Sadiq, Kaf, Resh, Sheen, Taw. All these alphabets right here, right? And all of them going right by. This is the A in Hieratic. This is the B in Hieratic. You know, the G in Hieratic, the D in Hieratic, the H again, the Hey, where the E comes in, Vol, there it is, Zain, Sa, Za. Remember I was telling y'all about that? Chet. Look at this, family. We can't make this stuff up. Tet, Yod. Look at it. All Hebrew. So now you understand why we have our system, what we call strong words, where we can take a Hebrew word and take an Arabic word and show you how the word existed in ancient Egypt before it existed in Arabic and Hebrew. Because the language of Arabic and Hebrew is nothing more than, we can say, a modified version of the Egyptian language. Big facts. And if you take each one of these letters up here, again, and go back to the original chart on the road, you're going to see again, they go your hieratic letter A. Look at your hieratic letter A here. They go your hieratic letter B. Look at your hieratic letter B here. You can see the Phoenician here. Look at the Phoenician and the Hebrew. Same letter. Telling you, ain't nobody never showed this. A, B, this is the G here. Look at the G in the Phoenician. There it is. And also interchangeable with K too. A lot of people don't know that. K and G is interchangeable. So you'll see A, B, K, D. You know, that's it right there. See the G? You can see the connection up here. They go to D right there. You know, and come up under it, they go your D again. Same D here is right here. These different charts that are not even related to each other, but they definitely on point with, you know what come. This is your hey, your hey. There it go again. You see? And we come up under the hey, you got the vol. The V is interchangeable with F and P, and also B to a certain degree. See that there? That's the symbol right there, the F symbol right here. Sa, Za, the Z, Za, TS. There it is right there. Same thing, family. So I don't really have to go through all of these right here because you know they lining up with each other. Like I say, we done found them, family. So the original hieratic language, Medu, Ray, and Kemet, gave birth to Phoenician. Phoenician gave birth to everything else that came out of it. And you see it right here, all the way down to ancient Greek, coming into Roman and later Greek, all the way up into your Latin. You know what I mean? Hebrew, all the way up into your box characters, which is known as Masoretic. You know, and sometimes they say Yiddish. But this is not the original Hebrew alphabet. You know, this is actually a derivative. The original Hebrew is Paleo-Hebrew, you know, which is called, you know, Proto-Canaanite and certain things. Now let's come down to the next chart that I have here. We have the Rogues alphabet next to mine again. And here it is again in this particular chart. And you have to actually say, why haven't the Egyptologists taught me this? Why didn't I know about these things? See, characters Hieraticus, Egyptian, hieratic. Phoenicians right here followed it. Then the Phoenician gave birth to Hebrew. Then the Hebrew comes with the Syriac. Then you have the regular characters in English as what they represent. Samaritan. You see the Samaritan characters. You know, Francis, French, Arabic. You know, and you have the English characters next to that showing you the Arabic equivalent. Come on, man. We do this. Look at this. This is a letter hieratic again, A. Let's go back over here to the Rogues chart. There it is. There it is. That's the B again. See the B right here in English? Let's go back over here. There it go. There it go, people. Right there. Only just a different style of writing. This is the G is also interchangeable with C and the K as well. So that's the G. Interchangeable with the C. It's a G in hieratic. You know, and there it is. See it right here? G. A, B, G, D. It used to be A, B. Well, it's A, B, C, D now. Like I say sometimes A, B, K, D. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm finna really go there in a minute. Y'all think this is just showing you the comparisons. Wait till I get into the Unicodes and get down in here. Y'all gonna say, my God. So this is the D again. Come over here, you see the letter D. So I ain't gonna go through all of these right here, family, because we already know they line up, they match up. You know, I want to get to the essence of it. I'm just showing you these many different charts that correspond, and they are proving that the hieratic gave birth to the Phoenician, and Phoenician gave birth to, you know, a lot of the Hebrew language. You know, and a lot of the Arabic came later. So here's another chart. Now this chart, it has the hieratic here, but they have the Greek letters, you know, that's equivalent to each one of them. So you see here, I actually have the original order that they had these letters in. So I used this chart and rearranged them in the abjad order, and that's how I came up with this. Like I told you, Sister Dendra, that I was going to give you the chart, and I'm giving you way more than just the chart. You know, I'm giving it all up. So this is the letter A right here. See, this is the letter A here in hieratic, just a different style of writing, same A here. This is the B again. Again, this goes back to the letter B. Just a different style. This is the letter G again. And we can see again when we get up here, this is another expression for the letter G. You know, but it's there. The D here, and then it goes to the letter D here. They go your E there. Then we see the E, which is interchangeable with the letter H. I keep saying that. This is the letter F, you know, and interchangeable with the letter P. You know, so as we go further into this stuff, again, it's showing the same thing, but this is Greek alphabet they putting on the side of hieratic is what I'm getting at. Same thing all the way down as we go through it. And they all stop with the letter T. You know what I mean? Just like I have right here. You know, so like, come on, family. Come on. Who these people playing with? So let's go to our next chart. And this is the one remove all doubt. Because this is the one that take us into the Unicode. So here we have here the original chart that they had here that actually corresponds with this particular chart here. You know, this is like a 1-for-1 right here. If you notice it, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you notice it here, you can see it. See the letter A here? They got a couple of different forms of this letter A. That's the G1 Unicode. We finna get ready to go to that in a minute. See that right there? Out of different forms, or it looked like even a 2. So let's go into using our tools. We can actually come here. This is one that we can use. This is G1 right here. And see, it goes back to the 4th dynasty. This is actually from a monument right here. G1, right there. And they show you all the dynasties where you find this G1 at right here. Look at that. All the way, I want to say up to 27. You know, the 27th dynasty. And this is all monuments they find it on. But right here, and they want you to believe that this is what a picture comes into the letter. Remember, they reverse engineered this from the actual alphabet. You know, so only reason we're using this G1 here, because we're going to go to the actual expression here. See it right here? All I did is typed in the letter A. So this is the letter A. See it? That's the letter A right there. Now look at the letter A in the hieratic. See, they got this. This would be G1 again in the what we like to call markers or indicators. But see how it evolves and look at it. This is the actual A that we're dealing with. So when we go back over here to the hieratic master key, see all of them right there? Same thing. But they are not in abjad order. So, you know, this is A. The A is correct. But then when they come here, they don't have the B. They have the I. They have the Y. They have the Y. They have the A. They have the W. They have the... This is not abjad order. So if I were to go to abjad order, I would go down here to the letter B. And what is it? D58. That's the letter B. We're going to see if we can type it here and pull it up for you in our tool. Oh, yeah, I told you we wasn't playing with them. We're going to just see if we can simply put the letter B up here and it give us a hit. If not, we'll go with the actual hieratic number. So let's see. Okay, so they go to B. All right, it gave us a hit. So now let's go back over here to the hieratic master key that I created. And there go your letter B right here, right? In hieratic, which would be D58. So I could have pulled it up on the letter B or D58. Right there. There it go again. Letter B right here. Now let's go to the letter G in hieratic. You see? So let's go over here and get the actual let's see here. It was 1 second. Okay, there it is right there. That's our G right there. And that will be W11 in the Unicode. You know, so let's just type in G and see if it give us a hit up here in our hieratic paleography measure. Let's put the G here. Okay, so that we got the G. Did it give us a hit? Okay, it didn't give us a hit there. Let's put capital G and see if it give us a hit. Still didn't give us a hit. So what we're going to do then, there's more than one way to go here. We're going to go to the Unicode. And the Unicode again was W11. So let's see what it gives us when we come over here. W11, W11. Oh, my bad. I'm putting that in the wrong area. W11 here. Then we come over here. All right, we got a hit. There it go. That's your G right there. You see it over here? Which is also Nasit. Nasit is actually what this would be called. You know, this is actually not only G, but it represents a triliteral. Nasit. You see? Look at that. Same letter. Now let's go back to my chart in the hieratic master key. Let's see what the G looks like. There it is. There it is, people. That's the D coming behind that. Let's see if we can just pull this D up by just typing it in, or if we're going to have to use the Unicode in order to pull it up. So I know it's going to give us two D's probably, one capital and one lowercase. It didn't give it to us then. Let me take this out the way. This may be hindering it too because I still got that there. Okay, there it go. It gave us a hit. There it go. That's the letter D right there, family, in the hieratic. You know what I mean? All this is an indicator of the real hieratic letter. So they reverse engineered. That's why you have more of these than you have this. They reverse engineered, you know, this letter, you know, into this picture, you know. And these are all the dynasties, you know, in which these things come. This is letter D. So let's keep going and see how far we can go. So this is letter H. Here, see the letter H there? Let's go back over here and see if we can find that letter H. Okay. There it is right there. See the letter H? 04 is the code here, but I'm going to type the H in and see if it let it pull it up. If not, then we'll use the Unicode. Okay, let's see, the letter H, lowercase. Let's see, did it give us a hit? Yep, it did. There it go. It's the letter H in hieratic. Let's go back over here and fact check it with my hieratic master key. There it is. The letter H. You know, let's come down again. This is another H here. The one that they tried to say looked like the twisted flax. You know, this is another H. You know, and they have different ways that they express it too. Say like the Semitic hat, written hat. You know what I mean? So we probably definitely gonna have to pull our Unicode up on this because we already used H one time. So being that it's more H's, we're gonna use the Unicode. So let's go get the Unicode for the letter H, which is this H here. Like I said, they try to use that's V28. So let's go back to our hieratic paleography tool. We're gonna pull this up. I'm gonna try this first just to see though. I'm gonna hit that and see if we get some. Oh, there it go. It's a capital. It's a harder H. That's it right there. See it right there with the H and the dot on the bottom. Let's go back to my hieratic master key, the chart that I put together. And there it is. Right there. See that H with the dot on the bottom? There's another H there with a line on it. I'm definitely probably going. And this actually corresponds with the letter X as well. The K sound right there. Scottish. Scottish. That's it right there. That's that K sound. See what I'm saying? That's KH. If you see like Kunum, Kim, that's that KH sound right there. So anyway, let's go over here then and find this other this K sound. Let's see. There it go right there. Okay, that's F32. So I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna see if I can try to pull this up by putting KH up here. It may let me do it. It may not, but let's see. Only thing be the failure is a try. I'm gonna see if it let me pull it up. Uh-oh, look like we might have got a hit. No, we didn't get a hit. Okay, so what we'll do, let me see if I do it this way. That's a K. Let's see, it may be a capital K too. That distinguish it. That's the other K which correspond with the G right there. So that ain't the one we're looking for. So let me put a capital K in there and see if it let me go, because it may be that may be the difference. No, it didn't do it. So let's go with the number. Let's see. I think it was F32 if I ain't mistaken in the Unicode. Okay. There it is. Right there. That's it. You know what I mean? Like letter for letter, family. You know, it don't get no greater than this. Like I said, brought to you by the real skillful scribes of ancient Kemet. You know what I mean? So here's the letter W. Let's keep it moving. We're going to go all the way to the bottom with this. So let's go over here and find the W. There it is right there. This is the hieratic W. Look like a little S, right? Let's go and just see if we can type in W and pull it up. We know if we can't find it by the letter, we can definitely find it by the number of the Unicode. And I didn't even go into my whatchamacallit, my Aku tool, because I could have went into that too. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, I got the wrong one. Let's see. It's supposed to be over here. Okay, there we go. All right. Hoorah. There you go. There go your W. Right there. And they got various different forms of this express W. That's the one we're looking for right there. This is the one we're looking for right here. That's our W. We got it. See it right there, W. You can even click on the W, you know, and it'll take you there. But see the little, try to put the little curve symbol they have in there. This is the W, which don't look nothing like them symbol, but that's the way the Europeans were trying to log this information, basically. And they got that idea from the Tanis manuscript, which we talk about all the time. But that's another measure. So let us go back over here to the hieratic master key. Let's go back to my abjad chart. We got W. Now let's go to this letter jet. This is the jet. See? This is jet here, the D, the letter D. So they give us the capital D. Let's see what happens if we use the capital D over here. See if it allows us to pull it up that way. So that's what it is. Lowercase d gives one aspect and the capital D gives another. So let's go and see what happens when we put the capital D in here. Just for, starters. There it go. There it go. That's the jet. Let's see over here. Is it on point? There it is. The D with the line on it. That's jet. You know what I mean? We did this ourselves. Rome didn't teach us this. We taught ourselves. That's something we can give ourselves a pat on the back for, ain't it? So here it is again. This is the H, another H. That's that K sound that we was talking about earlier. Let's go back over here. I'm trying to find it. Oh, we already went into one aspect of it. Here it is. This is the H I'm looking at now, though. That's J1 look like it. Yep. Let's go. We're going to just go to the Unicode on that, because that may be difficult, because there's only so many H's you can use, before you run out. So let's see what the Unicode say. J1, and it brings us well. Let me see. Let's see if it do it this way. Now that's a different one. Hold up. Let me make sure I got that right Unicode there. That's what it looked like. It looked like J1. Oh. And I know this in there. Is that a J1? Okay, let's go back again. Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm going to try it again. See if we can get it. It ain't giving me that hit on that one right there. Let's see. I'm going to try this then again. See what happens. That just show you that we have work to do too. Because some of these don't even be on the Unicode like it should as well. That's all right though. Let me see. We may be able to find it actually under one of the original H's. They might have compiled them together. I'm going to see if they did it that way. Because we may be able to find it that way if we didn't find it the other way. Scroll down through here a little bit. Not that one. It wouldn't be that one. Let me see here. That's a hard H. So let's go back over here again. Okay, that's one now. It ain't giving us that one either. Let's see. What about this? Let's see if it gives it to us on this. Not that one. Sound shifter. So that's one we're going to have to look for there. That ain't the right Unicode. That ain't good. Let me go and do it like this right here. Because I know that that Unicode right there. I done had it before. Let's see here. Let's see if it do it this way. Still ain't giving it to me that way neither. No, it ain't gonna give it to me this way. No. In the world? Nope, definitely ain't that one right there. That just pulled something random up right there. Let's see. No, let's see. That one right there, we're gonna have to look for. It's in here. I know it is. I just got to try to find it. Because that ain't the right Unicode. See, this is a prime example. We done find the error in one of the Unicodes. It's not yielding what it's supposed to yield to us. Let's go a little further. That's 574. I may be able to do it this way. Let's go to our coup tool and see if I can find it that way. Okay. All I got to do is find a little symbol, and then we'll go from there. Oh, we're going to find it. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it there. That's not it there. Well, look like we're coming up close to it. Okay, a little further, a little further. Cool tool. Where you at? Where you at? I know you're in there somewhere. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. I see a couple of circles, but it ain't the right circle. Okay.
Can you show that symbol again that you're looking for?
Yeah, it's the symbol with the lines through it. The circle with the lines through it.
Just one line?
No, it's a few lines. You know what? I'm all the way down into it. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna go through it because I was halfway into it. There it go, right there. You see, this is a different Unicode. I see the one there. That's it right there. It's actually AA1. And there it is right there. See it? That's what I was looking for.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to go back over here and see, can I pull that over here? Because they had it as, see right here in this chart. And it may be the person that had created that particular chart that I had. See it right here? See, they got it as J1.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's where they throwed us off at. That may not even be the Unicode, or maybe they copied that Unicode from somewhere. But see the circle with the lines going through it? That's the H.
Right.
So when we come back over,
is that the H that sound like a K?
that's the
Shit. Okay.
You know. So when we come over here, this is the 4th dynasty. This is the Hieratic right here. And I'm finna go over here now and see that can I pull this under this AA1 in this particular drawing here. Let's see. A and 1. Let me see if it let me yield it. Okay, it may be. Yep, there it go. They got it on top of another letter. That's supposed to be the R on top of it, but it's isolated. I know they got it in here. That's how they do it. There you go. That's the isolated version. Well, it actually has some. This is the isolated version right here. There it is. See, that's that. There you go. Right there. Yes, sir. I knew something was wrong. I knew, so that's what it is. The person who put that together didn't put that there. You know, so but I was more going off of the actual alphabets in the order they put them. So let's go a little further down and go to the rest of them because we only got a few more to cover, you know, and then we're going to open up the floor, you know, so that our scribes can come. This is T right here. This is the ch sound here, ch, the TCH, ch, 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 right? That's it right there. So that's in my particular chart. Let's come over here and try to find the same letter. Let's look for it, and actually it'll be further down. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And it may be under a different expression of it too. So give us a second here. Okay, I see what they did. Yep, they done went with a different symbol. That's probably in the same group. Okay. This is it right here, actually. V13. But they got it in a different expression. So let's go over here. Let's see. Let's pull it up. All right, V13. See what they did over here. Let's see if it give us a hit. Yeah, there it go right there. Yep, that's all it was. It was a different. So let's go back over here to my Hieratic master chart. Again, where you at? Where you at? We just had you. Right here. And then if you go into it, you'll see that they actually had a symbol here. Right there. even though they got different changes, and then blow it up a little bit right there. See it? And then that chair, that's the T with the line up under it. So, yep, we got that one. That's another version of it right there too, right up under that. You know, look like a nothing up under there, but it actually is on top of a what would be considered another T or D dealing with. So it's TT, like sound shifting. Okay, so let's go back up, get to the other one in the Hieratic master key chart, and we see the J and the I here. This is the Hieratic J and I. So let's come over here and find the Hieratic J and I. There it is right there. So they have it in here as I. That's M17. You know, so we're going to hit I first and see if it pull up. If not, then we'll hit M17. You know, let's just put the letter I in here and see what we get. It's a lowercase I too as well. So let's do this. Okay. Lowercase I. Okay. I think it's in here, but it's down here a little bit further. That's one. That's one. That's one there. That's one there. Let me go back over here. Okay. Maybe be a high. Let's see.
Oh, it was like that last one, I think, just before you changed.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Yep. Yep. I should have went further. Yep, that's it. You're right. Good eyes, Brother Marvin Edwards, babe. So yeah, that's the I. Right there. So let me go back over here. Hieratic master key. And now you see why this is the master key right here. See, this is Y, which is pretty much in the same area as the other one. So let me go back over here. Pardon self. And the Y is pretty much in that same. It's the Y right here. This M17D. So that's the Y. So we'll just type in Y right here. That should pop right up with no problem. Let's see it. Letter Y. Okay, there we go. We're going to have to put out, and there it go. It came right up. There you go. That's your Y. You know what I mean? We're going to have to put our Unicode on the side of it, you know, as well in this chart so it'll connect to it automatically. We already went over the G. We know what the G is, so we ain't got to go back into this one here. You know, this is the letter R. Let's see here. Okay, we already went into that letter G, like I said, and that G was down here. That's the W11 that we went into earlier in the abjad order. What it is the expression of the G in another area. So really it's the same letter, but just in a different expression. So here we have the letter R. And the letter R we find in this chart right here, that's D21. That's the letter R right there in hieratic. Let's go back over here. Again, that's the same R in hieratic. Let's see what happens when we type in the letter R. Okay, scroll this down. Okay, letter R. Search it. Pull it up. There it go. Yep, we got various different forms. They put it together with other letters. We looking at the isolated R. They have this one isolated, but it still has something there. But that is the letter R right there. That's the ligature. So yeah, I mean, it's on point. Let's go a little further. I'm gonna see what happens if I do this too, by the way. Just for kicks and giggles, so to speak. Let's see. I'm gonna put a capital letter R off in there and see what happens. Oh, it didn't do nothing. That's all right.
Try a double R.
Yeah, it ain't gonna pull nothing up.
Small one.
Yeah, it probably ain't gonna pull nothing up. Yeah, it's more looking at, you know, cause it ain't no words being expressed in that way. But I tell you what, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to see what happens when I yield the Unicode and see. But that one, it pulled it up. It pulled the R up. I'm just trying to see if it give it to me in more isolated form. That's D21. So let's see right here. D21. Okay, yield sub. Yep, that's H and R. So yeah, I know it's gonna probably get. They go to isolated R right there, and that's actually Ra. See that right there? That's Ra. Yep. See it?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh yeah, we ain't playing with them. When I give y'all this one right here, Scribes, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You hear me? You're going to be able to go through there and really go up in some papyri.
Okay.
And get the job done.
That's what time it is.
You see the accuracy of what we're dealing with. This is what happens when you have the mind of ingenuity and you are industrious enough to put in the work. You know, and that's what we've been doing. So here's the letter M. Let's go over here. We already know they want to tell you it's the I. So here it is right here. That's the hieratic M. Don't look like that or like that. But we ain't going to get into that right now. We're going to go on over here. And when we go into this, you can go deeper into this by your ARCU tool. You know, you can go deeper and get more history behind this. Or you can go over here, you know, into this particular drawing right here, the PHRP project, you know, and you can go over here and find these same signs, you know, again, dealing with the different dynasties and the actual monuments that they come from, you know. So that's based on if you want to go that deep into it. So let's go back over here and get these rest of these letters so we can move on to our next phase. So again, it's the M. So let's go up here and see if we can type in the letter M. Okay, and see what it yields. Let me get this number up out of here. Put the letter here, lowercase. Okay, there we go. I believe it's already there. There it is. Still different there, you know. Here it is. This is the one we're looking at right here. Notice they don't have the owl over here though. But anyway, that's the letter M in hieratic right there. How do we know it? Bam, right there. Okay, let's go a little further. It's the letter N right here. Letter N. Let's go over here. Let's find our letter N. Letter N is right here. There it is, N35. So let's hit N first, lowercase n. If that don't work, then we'll go into the N35. Okay. Come on now. Y'all, they ain't even trying to pull that up right there. Okay. Here we go. So N. There we go right there. Scroll it up. I might have went past it just that quick. There it is right there. That's one expression of it. But it got a little line on it. We want this one right here. This is the one we want. That's the N. So you see it's different expressions of what they are saying the letter N is as well. So that's the N right there, but they got a couple of more of them in here. So pay attention to that, family. So here we go again. We almost done. Let's come over here again, letter for letter now. And this is the, again, Z, that's interchangeable with the S in the sound shift. Z, C, right? Almost like saying C. But that's it. That's your S. And hieratic. Let's come over here. There it is. That looked like 034. Yeah, that's what that is, 034. Let's put the S up here. If it ain't the S, then we know we're going to 034. So let's put our S in here and see if it yields the same symbol. All right, there it is. There it is right there. Dynasty 25 too. Dynasty 18. Dynasty 3. So this goes all the way back to the 3rd dynasty. You know how old that is? And it may be even older if you go into the ARCU. Who knows? Let's see how far the ARCU go. That's 034. I'm going to see if I can pull that up real quick. But I actually can scroll through it and find the symbol. Okay. Oh, it's in alphabetical order, so it should be easy to find it. Okay, 034, 034, 034. There you go, right there. Let's see how far I go back in here. Well, it actually went just to the fourth dynasty, but the other one gave us a third dynasty. Went back a little further. That's still old. That's an old hieratogram. That S. Okay. So let us go back to the hieratic master key. You know, and now we have A, the letter A. Okay, we have the letter A here now. Let's go and look into the letter A. There it is. Our letter A yields, and there it is right there. There it is. That's the letter A. Ain. More of a softer A, but it's the letter A. Nevertheless, that is the letter A, y'all. Make no mistake, it looked like a comma, but that's the letter A in hieratic. Okay, see it right there? Same symbol. Pay, the F. We done talked about this earlier, so we done said this a couple of times. But just for good measure, we're going to go up in there anyway and pull it up. Here it is right here. That's Q3. That's the Unicode in that one. So that's the P. We're going to put P up here, and if the P ain't there, we go in Q3. Okay, so let me take this one out. Lowercase p in there. Search it. It yields something. Let's see what it is. There it is. That's the P. All right. Back to the hieratic master key. All right. Now let's scroll up a little bit. We're on the last few. That's the S again. They call that the folding cloth in most aspects. So let's go over here and find that. There it is right there. And see, they got different symbols here. You know, this is how they throw people off. You know what I mean? So, you know, we definitely got to become aware of this. So we have to learn these different forms of these letters. So when we're looking at different papyrus that have a hieratic in them, we'll know what it is. But it's good that they put them here in the three-way because we can use that as a guidepost to take us back to the actual site here. And then we'll be able to know what it is that we're looking at, you know, by whatever letter it is that we see. So all we got to do is identify with the letters and see them in the different forms, and we can pull them right up in our tool. So let me go back over here, get these last ones out the way. So that's the letter Q, again, interchangeable with the letter K. There it is right there, Q and K. And let's go over here and find the Q and the K here as well. Well, yeah, there you go, right there. That's N29. So I may end up having to do that way. I'm gonna see first. I'm gonna try to both the capital. I don't even think the K's even yielded nothing though. Oh, maybe it did. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe the Q. Okay, so that's the K right there. So this is the K. Okay, so let me try the capital again and see what that yields. Nothing. So let's try the Q. Okay, I think this may be it then. Yep, there it is, right there. And it has a little dot up under it. So it's the Q. It brought it up under the Q, but that's interchangeable with K. See the K right here? You got the Q. I put it in there and it brought the K up. So it's interchangeable. So you have to know that sound shifting is everything. If not, you know, you that's why people don't understand etymologically. You know, you can pull this stuff up and know what you're looking at. But if you don't understand the linguistics and sound shifting, you're going to be lost. We ain't even got to go back to R. We went to R interchangeable with the letter L. Go ahead, Islam more.
Islam, yeah, I was going to say that's like the Quran and the Quran.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we were speaking on earlier. That's right. I'm trying to see if the R is pretty much yielded under the L. So we ain't worrying about that there. We already pulled that up. So R and L is interchangeable. Yeah, here it is right here. And we went on it a few minutes ago. Remember, we put the other drawing up there and went on the Unicode. You know, so all is well on that aspect. We don't have to go back over that one again. But S, again, this is S and H here. Let's see the S and the H. The sh, there it is right there, N37. So I'm going to just put the Unicode in there so it'll take us straight there because I doubt that I can put that S in there that way. I don't know. Let me put a capital S and see if it let me see. I'm going to see if that yielded. Oh, yeah, it did. Cool. That's it right there. So the lowercase s is the other s, and this is the sh sound. And you know that sh sound by this on top. This dot pointing down at the s. That's the sh sound. You know, so this is the hieratic right here. Make me think about kapesh. Right here, the kapesh. So let me go to the last letter, which is the T. You know, there it is right there. Look like a little arrow pointing to the left. Let's go over here. And that last T, that's it right there. That's X1. I'm going to put a lowercase t and see what comes up. If not, then we'll go the other route and put the Unicode in there. But let's put the lowercase t there first and see what it yields. Not the I, uppercase, but the lowercase. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got something. Yep. Yeah, pretty much that's it right there. So yeah. So as you can see, this hieratic master key, you know, now that we prove everything come from the hieratic, then last but not least, we brought this back to our family. We tried to squeeze it in there. And actually, I was supposed to have the other chart of the rogue here on the side. I'll probably just redo it and resubmit it. You know, even we just had these two charts. The chart I created with the facial recognition, which shows the connection to the Arabic letters, because the Arabic letters are going to give us our ability to pronounce these things properly. See the sound shifting that's going on in here. This is the A. You know, you can look at it and tell. This is the other A. You know, you got the B. Remember the B? It's the Arabic B. T. Arabic T. We just went over the T. That's the last letter. Te. You know. There it is here. You got the G corresponding with the Arabic J. You know, the H. You know, corresponding with the Arabic H. You know, ka. See all of these right here, sound shifting. That's the K and the H in the Arabic. There it is here. There it is there. We see the D again, corresponding with the T that we was just talking about earlier. DH. Z. So yeah, we see it. They go your R in hieratic. That's correspond with the Arabic R. Z. That's the Z. Say. That's that S again. S right here. That's the S corresponding here. That is sh sound. Sh corresponding with the Arabic shin sound. That's the S again. Sad. That's sad right there. The Arabic letter sad. Then we have over here the D. Again, there it is. The D. That's the T again. Z. Sa. That's that sa. Ain. That's that letter A. Ra. The letter G. Rain. Fa. That's the letter F. Y'all remember that one? Q. And that's the letter Q, which is K often as well. Here's another K. The one that replaces the G. ABKD, ABGD. One of those. The L. That's like the R. L and R interchangeable. That's lam in the Arabic. Mim, the letter M. That's the M right there in hieratic. That's the M in Arabic. The letter N or nun. That's nun. That's the N right there in the hieratic. H. H is checking out. That's H again. That's that small H at the end of the name Allah. Often. That's W. They go your W right there again. And this is your letter I and Y. You know, and so forth and so on. So, yeah, family. This is powerful. Actually, this has been the I and the J, and then this would be the Y. You know, but nevertheless, when you compare these letters over here, they will give you the idea as to how to pronounce these measures with the facial recognition chart. You already had a facial recognition chart. I just wanted to put them together. So that is it, family. And we have the hieratic master key. And we see that this all goes back to the ancient language of the Lemurians and the Atlanteans. And then comes forth the hieratic characters giving birth to the Phoenician and the Hebrew and the Arabic and the Greek and the, and so forth and so on. And now you have the true origin of the alphabet right here. So what we gonna do at this particular time, we finna go into the essence of letting our scribes come forth, because I know they biting at the bit right now. We're gonna call on our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Shepsut Rakat Ma'at Anput Tutankhamun Bey. Islamism without the schism.
Islam. Woof. See, I was going to say, having already risen, given praise and honor with due, Dr. Shahid, you have outdone yourself, but how you going to outdo yourself when you are God? This is a powerful demonstration. And just being able to go back to that Censor, gratitude for that, and bringing up that chart that you created, putting it in abjad order, showing the Hieratic, showing the Phoenician that came from the Hieratic, tracing it back to Atlantis and Lemuria, Jehudi or Tho, giving it to Asar, and again, being able to trace ourselves back. That is so powerful. And then when you're showing the comparison with the Greek and Latin, and how you can see it's indicative coming from the Phoenician. And, when you were going over those demonstrations, in addition to my Hieratic chart, I was also looking at, and you also brought that up, Dr. Shahid, in reference to some of the Arabic letters. You could all see where it came from Hieratic as well. So you can see everything is connected coming from us. Now, you can't get any plainer than that. In addition to like Walter Williams and Mustafa Gondola. So every time we go into these classes, for me, it's becoming more clarified as far as, I'm right with our scribes. Can't wait to get into these papyri again to be able to do the research. And thank you for bringing up that point again in reference to transliteration is what Rome would have it termed, where we deal with transliteration. So I'm just excited, charged up, can't wait. And I just so appreciate all the work that you have done, because I know, well, it might not have been tedious for you, but it definitely is a big help as far as that missing link that makes it so plain, even a baby can understand. So gratitude more. I'm just charged up. Peace and love.
Peace and love, peace and love. And when I tell you, that's it right there. And this is all a part of going into the actual book. And so when we get a chance to go into that record, this is it. We got it right here. We got the Hieratic master key to be able to go into, the Hieratic right there in that one PDF. So we say praise be to Allah for giving us the opportunity to be able to go deeper into this measure. And like I say, nobody's done this. We done this ourselves, and we brought it forth, to our people, and it is what it is. A lot of our people just ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? And some of our people just accept what it is that has been given to our people, and they don't want to go deeper into it, and it's just a powerful measure. And I say to the individual Dash Arab that's in here, you have these individuals come in here and say what they say, but they can't debunk this. This is actual, primary source material right here, man, that we present to y'all. You'll be a fool to come up in here and go against this. You never heard this. Ain't nobody never taught you this. So you look, kind of crazy to come out there trying to oppose something. I know who the brother is, and I know who he run with, but this is what they all running from. So we'll just say we're gonna keep teaching the people, but just wait. because we got a lot to bring to you. You can't debunk this. In order to overthrow this, you got to overthrow thousands of years of Egyptian papyri, and it ain't going to be done. So let us call forth at this particular time the grand man, that gave us that grand drawing that was read in our Book of Fire. Our National Grand Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Heru, pants, leg rolled up, tooth to coming back. Kicking, yes. Islam, you there, Chairman?
Grand man on a mission more, but
Okay,
his pants legs still rolled up. Okay.
We already know, so we're going to kick forward then. Watch out. So, Islam. So at this time, we're going to open up the floor to our other scribes because we already know they ain't even playing, especially with them in there acting crazy up there too. Islam, scribe.
Islam.
Islamism without the schism. What you got to say, Danger? I already know it's trouble over here.
Islam.
Did I tell you I had one for you?
Yes, indeed, God, man.
Did I answer your questions already?
Man, I just don't know. You know what? You remind me of my grandchildren, like when they ask their parents for a toy or whatever, and they just ask for this one particular toy, but all of us chip in together and give them everything that go with that toy, and they just be so elated. And that's the way I am now. I'm like, man, we asked and you told us we was gonna be in for it this morning. And I tell you, Dr. Shahi, I thank and praise the great God Allah for you. I thank and praise the great God Allah for giving you the wisdom and the strength and the endurance to go into this and do this. And like the goddess say, I know it wasn't tedious because I can tell your energy lets me know you enjoy this. And when you enjoy something, it don't be tedious, it don't be tiresome, none of that. So I know it was a lot. It was a lot for you to do. And we give you honors, and we definitely want to let you know we appreciate all the work you have done. But this answers so many questions for me. I tell you, I can't wait to get the material and just go over it. And like the goddess say, go back. I'm excited now to go back and look in the papyri and pick out the alphabets and things. And like the goddess was saying, we learned this morning oh yeah, and it said that I won't forget this because we both missed it. The hieroglyphs was called transcriptions by the European. I ain't gonna forget that one. And then it said the Phoenician had an Egyptian influence. Them pictures that you were showing to us. Like you said, if I didn't know no better, I thought I would think them pictures was coming out of Kemet. But like you say, they had that overtone. The Phoenician had that overtone, and we all know that everything come from the Hieratic. The Hieratic gave birth to the Phoenician, and I just so thoroughly enjoyed this. Definitely I'm gonna be playing this playback over and over and over again, even after I get my material and stuff. And I just say to our people who are out there listening, I tell you, if this don't change things for you, well, maybe you just don't want to change. All I can say is the Holy Prophet will open up your eyes and your ears when it's time. Maybe it's not your time right now, but I tell you, it is our time. And man, I am so, I keep saying, man, but I tell you, you can tell I'm excited because gratitude, God, man, gratitude. I tell you, I can just sit here and listen to this over and over and over again, which I will, because I want to get it down in my spirit. I want to get it deep down in there. So gratitude, God, man. I can go on and on, but gratitude for letting me share. This has been, you said we were going have a good class this morning. I tell you, I had both my forks and spoons and knives, and I am stuffed right now. Islam, great meal, peace and love.
And Islam, peace and love. This one right here, definitely, this is definitely the measure that will allow us to go into the hieratic with ease. You can believe that. You know, it's not just going into the papyri. And so we can see everything has lined up properly, you know, and these charts were created at different times. So it took some time to put these things together, but we see exactly how the language unfolded. I mean, and can't nobody, you got to be crazy to go against this. I see the brother also said, all this for clout. What clout? What clout? What clout are we obtaining? You know, and the brother say, what he say, Arab enslavement or something like that. What did this have to do with Arabs? Other than showing, you know, that the Arabs pretty much claim that they have a language that was really already Egyptian. You see, so it's going over the brother's head, but he'll get it in due time.
Yeah.
So Islam. So let us call forth our other scribes, because I know they ready to. I know they love this one right here. Islam, Brother Marvin, that will be.
Gratitude. Yeah, I saw that brother in the chat. You know what I mean? I wanted to ignore him, but there was like the other Moors in there. I think they took care of him pretty good, you know, because you know, he was saying stuff that just really didn't coincide with nothing. You know what I mean? But getting back to the class, man, this is a powerful class. This is a culmination of all of the lessons that we've had thus far. You know what I mean? You put them in one, you know, one display, so to speak. You know what I mean? Which will serve as a like a legend. You know what I mean? Something that we can go by, a map of how we can go by. You know what I mean? Breaking down all of this confusion that has been put into all of this misdirection. You know what I mean? And we say gratitude for you, God, man, for all of your due diligence, because, yeah, you knocked this one out the park. And yeah, just you know, I'm glad I didn't go to sleep this time. Glad I was here for this here. But like the God has said, yeah, this is a class that we need to study. You know what I mean? Like we study our study guide. Yeah, this one here we're gonna have to study on a regular, so to speak. But yeah, I'm just grateful for being here, and gratitude.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And gratitude, Islamism without the schism. Yes, sir. It don't get no plainer than we just made it. And I know all of our family got something out of that. You know, we really went down through their family on this one and up through there. All right. Well, all right. Islamism without the schism.
Islamism without the schism. Lord have mercy. Yeah, that's that information. You're gonna have to copyright that fast. Because they're gonna bite this. And the fact that it hasn't been done, well, we know the Vatican probably got it somewhere, but this hasn't been done in the public since ever. I mean, since and you got to think about all the tricks that were played in order to get to this point where we couldn't even understand it, and now, you know, that's a lot of work. But the fact that it's done, you know, is the biggest part, and then it's going to be fun to go back through the E.A.R.S papyri to see what they were trying to convey, though we know that's not a, you know, and go through go through all the papyri and really see what they were trying to convey, because we got the the Egyptian dictionary too, so we'll be able to, get the words, translate the words into it. So there's a lot of this. There's a lot of powerful things that's going to be coming on the manifest after this. Saying to aid and assist with this this prolific and profound measure. Islam, gratitude, peace and love.
Yeah, there are a few rules that they have to know to really know what's going on. And trust me, they ain't gonna be able to duplicate this one. Because they got to first know the exact aspects of the source material, what we brought forth. And then they got to go through learning the methodology, which half of them done been so in opposition to what's been said. We know they don't know the methodology because they feel like they know too much. So their own rejection of the information being brought is going to keep them at bay from being able to understand it. You know what I mean? They already fighting it. So that's why we ain't worried about it. By the time they get through trying to fight it, we'll have this demonstration done. The breakfast fight going to be over with. So, yeah, this is a powerful measure, family, and we definitely have a lot of drawings to bring forth. And as you can see, like I was showing our family, you notice that when I started out, I didn't even need the alphabet chart. I was calling the letters out without the alphabet chart, and I ain't even been into it in a minute. That's because it's in the head now because we done did it so long, and that's how we got to become. The next thing is really learning, the other expressions. You know how the biliterals and the triliterals deal with going into this special measure. That's some more rules that we came up with that a lot of them don't know. And again, a lot of them fighting it, so it'll be a long time before they learn. The only way they're gonna start embracing this thing is till after we done put this measure out here, and then it be honored for the way it's supposed to be honored, by the scribes. So this is a powerful. We encourage our family to go back and look at the playback, and they'll get some learning. Even the people that ain't even really been in here though, they was able to learn something from this. You can believe that. You know what I mean? And they like, show me your methodology, show me your proof. And then look at what they done brought upon their head. The scimitar is moving and levitating, so to speak. So that being said, family, is there anything that any of our scribes have to say before we close this demonstration out?
Islam,
Sister Curtis Bay.
Dr. Shahid, as you was talking, and as if our people would just stop trying to fight against us and just know we're not here. We're here to bring you the truth. And I know we messing with their little money and all that stuff, because when you start messing with some people money, they get upset. So, but if the ones who are not trying to trick the people, if you would just stop trying to fight us and be against us, and just humble yourself and sit down and say, okay, let me see what they're saying. Just say, I'm gonna see what they're saying. Just be quiet, and you will get it. You will see it. I mean, because it's so plain. It's so plain. And then even the readings that I give my chairman honors for the Book of Fire, because even the readings that we read from the Book of Fire, it all ties in with what we be saying. And if our people would just humble themselves and sit down and listen, then they might be able to learn something. But you're so busy fighting against us that's why you'll never get it. So if you want to get it, stop resisting us. If you don't want to get it, keep trying to come against us. But you can't stop us, because this is Allah, and you can't stop him. Islam, you're gonna get me crunk up over here, God.
I already know. You know what I mean? That's what I'm telling you. You see, sister, what y'all witnessing, family. This is why I keep telling my family, I say I'm built for this. Because y'all done seen me throughout the years of being attacked by our people for just trying to teach the truth. All I'm trying to do is teach our people the truth. And you got people, for some reason, I know it ain't nothing, but let's be real about it. A lot of it is hatred. A lot of it is envy. A lot of it is jealousy. And all I'm doing is trying to correct what the European done did. And you gonna hate me because I'm trying to give you the truth. Because I'm exposing to you that you've been lied to. And so it let me know that some of these individuals, ain't no doubt in my mind that they being sent. You know, that's their mission, to do exactly what it is they doing. Make no mistake about it. I know who you are and I know who you with. But one thing about us, man, we gonna keep it coming with the truth, man. We looking over that nonsense. God frequency, man. You know, bring some scholarship to debunk what I said. How about that? You know, if you can't, shut your beak. Islam.
Islam?
Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes? Islam. Family, go ahead, Brother Barber. That was me.
Gratitude, yeah. Talking about that scholarship. I think that's what got them all caught up. Because they talking about that European scholarship. You know what I mean? That's all they see. I happened to be online the other night and saw your boy, your young brother, the brother. He said he's elder. Your partner, Reggie.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I tried to, give him a play, listen to see what he had to say. But, it's like this. I see it like this here. When Shaitan was told to bow down to the man, right? He refused. And this is the same thing. You know what I mean? Like Allah knows what they don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they want to, bring on the wrath. That's on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All we can do is bring the truth. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah, all praise due to the great God.
Islam.
Islam, Grand Secretary of State.
You know what? As I was listening to my Moorish kin and also gratitude to our family online, the first thought that came to mind was when the prophet said, those that were with me 2,000 years ago and with me today, those that are against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. And when I first came into Moorish science, there was so much attack and literally killing and murdering amongst ourselves in reference to now, when it's not supposed to be any sex, SECTS in Islam, but the various offshoots and branches, we the big poobah and this and that. Yeah, and don't forget Western Freemasonry. So even though that spirit was out here, even during the time of the prophet, the thing about it is the vehicle and the methodology used may be changed, because back then it was like face to face. Now it's going through social media, but you're still dealing with the same character flaws as far as you stated, hatred, slander, what's the hidden agenda and things of that nature. And you have those that just love drama. But the thing is, not a word is lost, and you cannot banish the truth, no matter what you do. Even if you take the form, spirit can't die. So what you going to do? So it's all good. We give honor to those that are seeking truth, and they will find it here. And those that have other hidden agendas, well, they're going to find themselves where they can solve their problems best. Peace and love.
The prophet definitely said it. He said, I done brought you everything it is. What you want me to do? So, this is a grand drawing, Grand Secretary of the State. It's a powerful measure, and the best is yet to come, family. They are witnessing, just the beginning, because the ones who coming are young and not yet born. Man, y'all think this something. We just laying the foundation for them. We just laying the foundation for them. So, that's what it really boiled down to. It is what it is. We already know a lot of them ones trying to silence the truth. And we cool with that. We ain't going to force ourselves on nobody. we're gonna keep teaching, and that's what it is. Cause we don't look for, the applause of the brethren. We're really trying to teach our people. We're really trying to uplift them. We don't need nobody to pat us on our back. If I was the last person on this earth, I'm gonna represent my Moorish American government. I'm gonna represent my prophet. So a lot of them ones, they feel like if they can overthrow what it is that I'm bringing, then that will be the last draw for the Moorish Americans. Basically, that's what it is, and they can't do it. So the best thing is to try to ignore and try to banish the information, but they can't do that neither, because in due season, it's gonna come into fruition just like it's meant to be. You see what I'm saying? You can't ban the truth. You can't ban, what's real. And it's only a matter of time for the people catch on to this special demonstration, and we coming. Trust me when I tell you that. So praise be to Allah, Islamism without the schism. And if our scribes don't have anything else to add on, we're going to go to Sister Dendra so that she can take us in the third heaven, the heights of it, that is. Islam?
Islam, Islam, Islam. Woo! January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders would be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Noble Jew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, Moors. Woo! Go in peace, Moors, and listen to this playback. Islam.
Woo-wee!
Islam.
Praise Allah!
Praise Allah.
Praise
Whoa.
Allah. Great class. Great class.
Great class. Woo.
Great class. Gratitude,
You.
Rise and family
That's
online.
great.
Great job.
Yeah, love to the family online.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, much love. Y'all already know, man.
Yeah.
we love you. We just
That's
want you to know the truth. Islam.
That's right. Islamism. We're gonna leave our family with a nice vibration track from our good brother Nikolai Giovanni. And y'all pay attention to the words, because it's definitely dealing with the Moses degree. Islamism without the schism. We just say gratitude, family. Let me pull this up in the queue, and good vibrations to you, family.
been a slave, only been a king. Looking at the fire, speaking from a tree. Yeah. Never been a slave, only been a king. Looking at the fire, speaking from a tree. Yeah. Deep in the valley. I'm close to the mountain. I see fire from I am that I am. Stepping on holy ground. Never been a slave, only been a king, headed to the pyramids built. With a voice that's supreme, enemies lick dust, always talking hits hurt. Holy, sick burn. Keys to the throne owned by the king. Yahweh, God bless Giovanni, sonship, firefall, sun kiss. Led by the light, real gift. Added to the night, vision shift. Promise to the king, sonship. Sovereign is the king, lift the head, see. Child will arrive for the coming of the king. Like a sit down, climbing up the mountain, I can feel his presence higher with the praise. Down power from a change with a real gift, soul, mighty body, spirit, purple from the womb. Blessings fill the room, peace given to you, seeing doom. Purpose feel truth. Fire speaking, I'm a leader from a tree. No shoes, just peace. Speaking to the Lord, how to free. Deep in the valley. I'm close to the mountain. I see fire from I am that I am. Stepping on holy ground. By stepping into my presence, you'll start seeing visions and dreams. As I yard this word, believer prophet was born year 83. As Moses led Israel by the side of the cloud and fire by night, let my prophet lead you into the future. Yes.
Islam, Shemo Tepu Morris Ken, we love you.
Islam.
All right now.
Love.
Peace and love.
Peace and
See
love.
y'all at the next session.
Islam.
Sunday school.
Islam.
Islam. Peace and love, boys. We love you.
We love you too. Islam.
And we want to give honors to all our family out there, all y'all that showed up. Y'all tell them about it. You know, Brother Charles Royale, Divine Angel Wisdom, Sister Sakina Ra, apologize sorry for your lost sister, and you gain angels. You know, and also Noble Brian, honors to you, Ryan Robinson, y'all were holding it down today. A.T. Sankofa.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, y'all wasn't even playing. Y'all muffed in and I ain't even know what was going down in there.
Right.
Right? Going
That's
dog.
what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Dosh
You
Era.
busy putting that knowledge out there, brother.
Yeah, even our brother Dosh Arab, we give honors to him, even though he got Arab in his name. But honors to the good brother. You know, honors to all of them, man. Scimitar and crown, we already know what you're alluding to. Praise be to Allah. So and creator of the boundless universe. We love y'all, fam.
Islam.
Ism without the schism.
That's right.
If they don't know it, we gonna tell them.
That's right.
Islam, peace and love, boys.
Good
Peace
job.
and love.
All right.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.